It is 6:02. Good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as they prepare to host the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. The first injury report of the week dropped. Eli Manor, Daryl Baker Jr., Kendall Brooks, and Xavier Woods did not practice due to injury, while Jeffrey Simmons, Kevin Zeitler, Tajay Spears, and Jihad Ward had a rest day. Chimere Dike, who left the game early this past Sunday with the chest contusion, was a full participant in practice yesterday. In NFL news, Browns rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders will get his first career start this week as Dylan Gabriel remains in concussion protocol. The Browns play the Raiders. The Rams placed 3 players on injured reserve yesterday in safety Quentin Lake, tight end Tyler Higbee, and offensive lineman Rob Havenstein. Some top matchups in college hoops last night as number 4 Arizona upset number 3 UConn 71-67, and number 11 Alabama took down number 8 Illinois 90-86. Tonight, Tennessee takes on Tennessee State in Knoxville with tip-off at 6 p.m. You can hear Vol Network's call right here on The Zone starting at 6 o'clock. Tonight, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off with Thursday Night Football. The 7-3 Bills take on the 5-5 Texans in Houston. Backup quarterback Davis Mills gets his third consecutive start for the Texans. Kickoff is at 7:15 on Prime Video. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into your Thursday morning edition of Ramon and Will. Welcome in and good morning. Hope you're having a good start to your day. We are fueled by Scooter's Coffee from 6 to 10. Ready to go with lots to discuss over the next 4 hours. Justin Hawkins makes the show happen. Vol Network analyst, 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, present and accounted for. Myself, Will Bowling, 615-737-1045. Is the number. There's one thing the Titans, I think, can do to help Cam Ward more now in 2025. Something that's maybe fixable. We'll talk about that coming up in 15 minutes. Coach Mack talks Titans at 7:20. Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, at 8:20. And the Thursday 3 picks against the spread for the weekend at 9:20. Streaming the show live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Good morning, Ramon Foster. How are you?
I'm good, Will. Good morning, man. This weather I hate right now. We're in between winter and spring, and I absolutely hate it all together, man, because you come out in the hoodie and then it gets hot and you get sweaty depending on your clothing entire later. I was shocked yesterday. You had on shorts, and you were right.
Again today.
I was wrong, is what I'm telling you, man. But
okay.
Listen, what I'm saying is this. I need for the weather to get cold and stay cold. I know I'm probably ticking a lot of people off by saying that because they love this type of weather, but I hate it when it's kind of damp and also warm at the same time.
I'm sorry.
That's just me and my rant. Don't mind me at all.
I'll round that up the flagpole.
Why do you want it damp?
I don't want it damp. I'd much rather just have it be cold, Hawk. Like, I hate the in-between weather. Just give me all hot or give me all cold. You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
Yeah.
I would much rather have 100 degrees versus 10 degrees.
Amen.
Are y'all?
I'll sweat it out before I just have to layer up.
No.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely not. No, y'all are wrong on this one, man.
No,
I can't agree with y'all.
I know that I'm in the minority on this opinion. I'm surprised that in this scenario, we are 2 out of 3 against you.
Yeah.
Which is fine.
Just detest cold weather.
Yeah, what are you going to do about it?
Totally detest
I honestly can't do anything right now. Is your glass bulletproof, by the way? Like, I can't punch through it?
Yeah, come on. Come on.
Okay.
I would punch through it.
I would love to see that.
No, I would not love to see that.
You'd probably break a hand.
I would most definitely break a hand. I've broken fingers before, but never like a hand.
Okay. Aggressive start this morning.
It is an aggressive start.
Be like Aaron Rodgers.
It's Friday. Yes, I would be like A-Rod out here, who still got a dub last weekend, too. So, hey, there's that part of it with a broken wrist. No surgery, they say, for A-Rod either. Looking at Florida and Ole Miss film again, man. Ugh. Florida defense plays hard. They play real hard.
Do they play well?
They don't play well. They don't. I will give you the outside perimeter. I will say
Important follow-up question.
it was.
Are they good? Or they play hard?
They're front-running defense is the way I described them.
They're all getting trophies at the luncheon at the end of the season.
Yes.
They're playing hard.
They're playing hard is what they are. Well, but that run defense is very porous for them. Look at them shoving Ole Miss players after the game.
240 yards for Ole Miss on the ground in that game.
Gotta happen for the Vols. Has to. This weekend's bigger. What's your meter looking like right now? Your
meter of excitement, of
BFL.
nervousness.
Yeah, no, your BVS.
I feel like you and your brother Ron Slay have helped cure me of BVS.
It's still mine flares up from time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I got a taint of it this week.
I'll be honest. A what?
A taint. That's what my grandma would say. Just a taint of something.
I've never heard that word. Yeah, I'm probably the first person in my family to hear that word. First person to ever have the last name Bowling to hear that word.
Yeah, just a change, man.
Yeah, that's a new saying now on TikTok of like, wow, I'm probably the first person ever in my family to experience this.
I hadn't heard
so
that.
I feel about
my
that.
algorithm sucks on.
Can we say that on? That sounds like a bad word.
No, tainted is a word.
But I know it's not a bad word. I'm just saying that, there's
That
some words that
feels
sound like they're bad words that we shouldn't be able to
understood.
say into the radio. That sounds like one of them.
See, this is one of those situations where I feel like that one's good. It's other words that I don't say that our teammates say all day long, and I'm just
family
like,
show.
I didn't know we could use it in that phrase right there. It's so many. I hear it, but listen, I'm not here to rat on anybody, is what I'm telling you. But what's your BVS levels?
I'll be honest. This Tennessee team, it's so hard to predict what they are going to look like on a given Saturday right now that I have a hard time being really nervous because I just don't know what to expect. This is, again, one of those games where I feel like everything is on the table. And that's not high-level analysis, but sometimes that's just the feeling you have going into a football game. That I think Tennessee can walk down there on paper. If they play their game and Florida allows you to get off to a fast start and they just kind of roll over the way that they have at times this season, I think you could go down there and win by 3 touchdowns. I also could see a world where Tennessee remembers they're playing on an ancient burial ground, as what typically happens. No, not really. But I just it kind of feels that way.
I believed you.
When Tennessee plays in Gainesville and they just forget how to play football. Like, I've seen it so many times. Like, does that have anything to do with Joey Aguilar? No. Like, does Joe Milton have anything to do with Joey Aguilar? Does Nathan Peterman and his performances, does that impact? Like, obviously not. Joey Aguilar months ago thought he was going to be the UCLA quarterback. Who cares what happened 12 years ago in the swamp for him and for this offense? At the same time, though, there is a reason why those Tennessee teams have not had success. It's not because they're cursed, because this is a really hard place to play, and those fans really want to beat you. And this is a game that they're going to be motivated in. So, I don't know. When you have games like this, Ramon, that come down to turnovers, it's just so hard to predict.
It is.
Because turnovers are not a predictive stat. You can be really bad in turnover margin all season, and then apparently march into Knoxville and Tuscaloosa in back-to-back road games, force a bunch of turnovers, and win. You can be one of the best turnover margin teams in the country. Feel like you have got just an ice rink. You're just skating into a 11-1 season, through the Iron Bowl, into the SEC championship. Then all of a sudden, Oklahoma comes to town, and again, you forget how to take care of the football. Maybe Oklahoma is just the common denominator here, but the point is, it is hard to predict turnover luck within a football game. And to me, that's what this game might ultimately be decided by.
And see, that to me is most definitely, I think, the biggest stance to have on that one. My question is, to your point about Joey Aguilar not being in this, I know it's not how we start this show.
It's okay.
But I asked the question, how can this team overcome those turnovers? Are they good enough? And the answer is yes. They are explosive as any team. I feel like they're more explosive this year than they were last year, as far as having the abilities, Will, to make like at any point in time, a touchdown can happen. That's just how it goes. Not necessarily on a run game like that, but like through the air, it can happen at any point in time. I'm hoping the last 3 weeks of just how anemic the run game has been for my liking, that takes a huge step, because here's the biggest question mark that Florida has. Defensively, they cannot stop the run.
Yeah, and how much do you stick with the running back who truly has the hot hand?
Got to this one.
Versus cycling guys in and out every 2 possessions. This is not a game to worry about re-recruiting your roster.
Come on, man. Right.
This is not a game to put a guy in just so they stay on your team. This is a game that if you've got to run the wing tee to win this football game.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and do it.
Like it's hit. Like
Do whatever it takes.
This is history.
And I'm not saying that Josh Heupel's necessarily always putting in players just for not losing them. That's actually been the opposite of what Heupel's MO has typically been. But it has felt like that at times at running back, even if that perception is not in reality.
I know for a fact this series has never seen a Florida Gators ticket on the lower bowl behind the Vol side be at $146.
Why not? That sounds about right.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
I feel like that ticket is way higher, and especially for a night game.
I
It's
think
not.
150 for a college game.
It's good.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
about right.
All right. I just look at NFL games and be like 250, 225, 178 usually is where they start at, even on bad games,
I
you
feel
know?
like if you had me guess what a lower bowl ticket was, I probably would have said
Well,
that.
the cheapest ticket in the bowl, what you think?
In the lower bowl?
I mean, no, in the stadium.
In the stadium?
Yeah, in the stadium.
I'd say $80 to $85.
$73.
Yeah, it's
Not
about
bad.
right.
I feel like that's kind of cheap because some of these, like Tennessee Georgia games,
Yeah.
they've been up in the 300s.
Well,
and you could be in the upper bowl.
That's the standard though. That's the like that is the high end. I'd say if you're looking for a median SEC football game ticket price, that's about right.
Yeah. Okay.
Middle of the road.
My BVS this week is probably about a 3
Out of 10?
out of 10. Yeah, I always gotta clarify.
That was always the classic dad joke.
3
at
out of
home.
5.
I got a 90 on a test. Out of what? 200? Boom, 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 boom.
3 out of 10 because it's a rivalry, because it's on the road, because it's night game.
No, I mean I'm higher than that. I'd probably say a 5 or 6, but
Of worry?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm about a 10.
But honestly, like a lot of that is just going into an SEC road game at night. Like I mean, other than Kentucky, like that game, I was probably a 3 because Mark Stoops just can't beat Josh Heupel, and that's just the reality of it. But
and that's reverse Vols, right?
yeah, exactly. 615-737-1045. We are live from the 1045 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. We've got Titans injury updates for you. And one thing I think the Titans can control that's got to be better, like now, something we don't have to wait on for the 2026 offseason coming up next.
It's Ramon and Will here for Window Nation. Man, telling you want your home to be comfortable year round. We spoke earlier about how the weather is just back and forth. It's hot, it's cold, it's warm, it's lukewarm, it's wet outside, all of those types of things, man. But you want your family protected and an investment you can feel great about for years. This is where Window Nation comes into play for you. They have a A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. They do 50-point inspections on every window before it leaves the factory and 20-point inspections on every window when it's installed. Your new windows, best part about it all, can be installed in 1 day or less, Will.
They can, Ramon, and I tell you what, Window Nation is the best in the business with the sales and the offers that they give you. You got to take advantage of Window Nation's end-of-year sale through November. 50% off all window styles. You could get 0% interest financing for 5 years. Window Nation has a 96% customer satisfaction rating, over 45,000 five-star reviews. They've installed over 3 million windows across the country. Hurry, this sale ends soon. Head online, windownation.com. Schedule a fast, free estimate now with the pros at Window Nation at windownation.com. Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, fueled by Scooters Coffee, 615-737-1045, and on your favorite podcast platform after the show. At Ramon Foster, at Will_bowling. So yesterday at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park, a lot of talk about receivers, Ramon.
I'm sure. I saw it on my algorithm.
A lot of talk with receivers. Did you know that Xavier Restrepo says he has run 21.5 miles per hour?
He has? For how long?
At practice.
Okay, I was going to say, was that a burst?
I was not prepared for follow-up questions.
You know, my fastest speed I ran was like 17, almost 18 miles per hour.
Really?
Before I did it in the game. Absolutely, an interception. I was proud of myself for that one.
Yeah, I was going to say, who picked it off?
Hitting 18, you know. I chased the play, but I jogged after the play instead of running out. But 21 miles per hour was cooking, though. That's what I would say to him.
Said it was a personal best.
He's a quick, not fast guy, right? Is what Restrepo would be.
Sure.
Yeah. Usain Bolt is fast.
Well, yeah. I have a hard time comparing Usain Bolt to anyone in football. But, yes, I see what you mean. Yeah. Fair comparison. Sorry, I shouldn't. My brain immediately was just like, what do you mean by that?
You stand up for your track guys. Like, no, there's no comparison.
Different kind of speed. But anyway.
There's no comparison to track speed.
I digress.
My bad.
At regress, as some would say. Titans are banged up a receiver. No Calvin Ridley, of course. No Bryce Oliver on IR. Chimere Dike, full participant yesterday, coming back from a chest contusion against the Houston Texans. Elikai Manor also injured, did not practice with his hamstring. So, the only healthy receivers on the roster are Van Jefferson, James Prochet, who was elevated, Mason Kinsey, and Chimere Dike. Restrepo did say to the media, he said, I've never run that fast in my life. I feel I have gotten so much better spiritually as well, knowing I have to wait my turn and it's God's time. He is an easy guy to root for. And again, I'm not going to ever shake my finger at Titans fans for wanting to see Xavier Restrepo the way this season has gone, especially at this point, Ramon.
Yeah.
It does feel like he's at least going to be up for this game, unless they just go sign somebody else between now and then, which I think is unlikely. The question becomes, Ramon, did Mason Kinsey do enough to lose his spot just in 2 plays this past Sunday, or did Xavier Restrepo do enough on the practice field to jump James Prochet, who has also kind of been ahead of him in the pecking order so far?
I don't think Mason Kinsey did enough to lose it. I thought he made a couple of good catches of balls that came his direction. You just got to look at the cast of characters that you have that are playing with you also. I almost feel like it's you need all of them. It's either Mason Kinsey, it's Restrepo, it's Prochet. You absolutely need all of them. The question that Cam has to ask himself moving forward is, when we're talking about Chimere Dike being one of his guys, like, what is it going to look like? Are you going to feed the guy that you know is a draft pick? Or are you going to go to what you're used to, and that's Xavier Restrepo, because y'all have a rapport together? It's a lot that has to be figured out also with Restrepo of who you choose to go to in these games, because how does he fare against NFL corners, against that defense? Sure. Also? Yeah. I think it's in Restrepo's advantage if they do play the short game when it comes down to Cam being able to get the ball to him in those situations. But I don't think Cam can be selective this upcoming weekend. And it may just be a spot to where open man gets the football. It has to be the case. Who's the guy he's feeding is going to be the next question. Van Jefferson should be the premier guy, or should it be Chim? In this week, think about the guys that we're talking about right now, too.
I know.
Like, who, if it may be more confusing for Seattle, who do you key in on this upcoming weekend and say, we got to shut that guy down and make sure you get to Cam Ward? Now, I don't have that answer for you.
Or could it be the tight ends?
I ain't even mix them into the equation. I'm just thinking of the receiving core.
Sure. I'm going to be really interested to see, because, again, the math of who is available and who the Titans have in that building today makes you pretty confident that Restrepo at least is going to be putting on a helmet and a Titans uniform for the first time, barring something that changes between now and Sunday. The question for me just then becomes, well, what are you asking him to do? Because every opportunity they've had to bring up a wide receiver, there has been a pecking order. Mason Kinsey, James Prochet, Xavier Restrepo, in that order. If the fact that Restrepo is just up is a reality, and that appears to be the case based on what we know, and Ellick not being, like, you're missing 2 guys last week. You have 2 guys left on the practice squad in Prochet and Restrepo who have been around. I know you signed a guy, but like those are the ones who have been around. That's the pecking order, right?
Right.
I don't know if automatically then Restrepo, just because he could be available, plays offense.
That's fair.
I mean, he could be
That
what
is
Mason
very
Kinsey
fair.
was coming into this Texans game, which is the backup receiver if one of the guys that's healthy right now gets hurt. Because then we have a different conversation of like, all right, well, you got no other option. Going to be interesting. We'll see how it progresses through the week. We'll see what their plan is. I'm just really curious. I don't know. We're kind of in uncharted waters right now with a lot of these guys playing football.
And there is no way in hell anybody expected this to unfold the way it did. You expected to have Calvin.
You've had rotten
right?
injury luck at wide receiver.
It's been that. You have guys being asking the franchise to be traded, right? There's been injuries that you mentioned. There's just guys that just can't get open the way you want to. Here's what I will say about this outfit this upcoming weekend as far as the wide receiver talent that you have and the guys that you have available to you. Every single player is going to have to give their 100% every single play. And in that, there will be success. If those guys can catch the football when it comes down to Cam delivering the football to them, they're going to get the max effort. This isn't a veteran that understands the team is bad. These are all young, hungry guys. These are guys that are all looking for opportunities.
For sure.
You got guys like Van Jefferson, James Prochet, Mason Kinsey that are all fighting for that next year also. And if you have this situation in which you elevate and he plays in as part of the offense and Xavier Restrepo, he may cook. I'm just going to throw that out there just because he's in survival mode.
Yeah.
Right? Every single one of these guys, in my personal opinion, is in survival mode when it comes down to them being productive for this offense. So I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm actually more optimistic about it than anything going into it. Now, talent versus talent, I don't know if Seattle's going to walk in here and sleepwalk either because they feel like we got this no matter what.
It's a good football team.
It is.
Really good football team.
You just never know.
Commenter on YouTube says, our wide receivers are bottom tier. X should have been in a while ago. I think if it was that obvious, it would have already happened.
It would have been that, yes.
These guys watch practice every week. They watched the preseason games that we also watched as well, where in those preseason games and in training camp practices that we were there for, just be honest, James Prochet made more plays.
He did.
James Prochet was a surprise omission from the Titans' initial 53-man roster. He is not, as Coach Mack says, an empty chair.
No. And James Prochet also brings in the element that I don't know if Restrepo brought earlier in the season. Special teams.
Mm-hmm.
That like Prochet can be your gunner. Like that's the thing about these positions. Like it's only a few players that can only play one position on the teams, and those are premier starters.
And those are quarterbacks and kickers and punters and I mean, Jeffrey Simmons is even playing special teams.
Cedric Gray is still playing.
Gray is playing special teams. Like, and to that point, Ramon, when we talk about, hey, he just finds the holes in the zone. He's just quick, not totally fast. Well,
Right.
that doesn't help you when you're sprinting down on punt team.
Mm-hmm.
Kick team less so because you're not sprinting as much on kick team.
Right.
But when you're a gunner, I don't care how quick you are. You need to be fast. You need to get down the field and be able to beat the guy that's trying to block you to the punt return guy. Like, that is an important element of what you are being asked to do. That is a big part of what Mason Kinsey has offered the Tennessee Titans now for years. And I know that's not everything. I know it's not his primary job, but again, we can't roast the old special teams coach and talk about how, this coaching staff just can't figure out special teams, but then also clamor for players to play every single week who aren't special teams players.
Come on, man.
The answer is somewhere in between the two. What is that balance for the Titans at this point? For the importance of Cam Ward's development, to give him every weapon possible to have as much success on offense while also still running a serious outfit. And I know you probably look at 1-9 and say, well, this isn't a serious outfit, so just go ahead and try. But like, there is a certain level of trust you've got to have in guys just putting out there to play special teams. Otherwise, Cam Ward's going to be playing from behind even more so because you're giving up crazy return yardage every time. Wanted to hear from Cam yesterday. Talking to the media, Teron Davenport asked, how much does a solid rushing attack help a young quarterback? And Cam had this to say.
I think we have a solid run game helps, the quarterback myself is going to help me out a lot just because just from looks-wise, whether it's play action, bootleg, the defense is going to sink back a lot, especially post-snap, freaking out. And I think that's a lot of times where we can get the ball to the back, get it to Tony in space, and let him meet. And I just think the run game is always going to be, beneficial. it's a standpoint where the O-line can come off the ball and hit somebody, and then just from a play action standpoint, we'll be good at it.
Obviously, run games help quarterbacks, especially with this team, the way it is built. Ramon, this run game was supposed to help this quarterback more than it has this season. The Titans are ranked 32nd in rushing at 789 yards this season. They are 26th in yards per attempt, 3.9 yards per rush, which maybe implies that you're not quite as bad as what the stats say. You've just been down in so many games. You've had to abandon the run game so quickly. When you have been on teams, and I know you were on a Pittsburgh team that was very good at running the football, but when you have even had spells, Ramon, in a season where your teams have struggled to run the ball, how do you fix it? And how does this team try to fix it?
Committing to it. I've been on teams where we've had those stretches, like we just couldn't figure it out. And you get creative with how you're going to run the football, and then you commit to it also. Like I said, we were going to a nickel set to where we'd line Le'Veon out and bring him back into the fold, or James Conner would do the exact same things, where you try to undress the defense enough to where you could see where they were, where your strong suits were also. And it was, okay, get a soft box. Get it to where you can know that your 5 can beat those 5. It's those situations. It was also more emphasis in practice too, Will. Like, it sucks for coaches, I've heard. Players enjoy it because you don't want to be in pass every single day. But the idea that you can go in full pass on Wednesday, Thursday means you can reset guys' physicality and their mindset into running football. Tight ends versus D ends become a thing to where O-line, one-on-ones, 2 versus 1 on the defense, combo blocks. You can really emphasize those things. So it became a commitment in practice and also to the game plan also. I remember getting the script from one of our coordinators at the time that had 10 straight runs. And that's what we were going to do. If we didn't get it, we're going right back to it. It is that side of it, but you got to have some physicality. And this is where I also say the physical side of it has to show up. The commitment from the coaches have to be there, and also the execution. You can have a very successful movement of the line of scrimmage, and then the tight end get beat underneath. And that one edge player that beats the tight end, that's a no-gainer, or that's a tackle for loss. It has to be a mindset more than anything, but it also has to be some strategy in it to where if they're dropping 8 in the box because they don't feel like you have a threat outside as far as the passing game goes too, then it's problematic for your offense. Sometimes when it comes down to play calling, coaches have to be uncomfortable knowing that the small things are going to work. And that's why I look at Bo Hardegree this week and say, if you're ever going to do it and settle down Cam, you got to call it. You got to let guys catch into a rhythm. I don't care if it is negative plays. If it's 1st and 15, run the football. See if you can get 7 back. That's a part of it, too. You don't have to go straight running, because going backwards for an offensive lineman, when you don't have the ability to impose your will on them, it sucks. Not just for them, but it's for everybody else, too, because the pressure to complete those passes from the quarterback position, it just creates no identity offensively. But it's commitment, it's understanding the scheme, and it's just also the execution of it also. Because you said one of those, we looked at the 3rd down and 3 situation in which Peter Skoronski got beat last week. That was Peter get beat by one of the defensive linemen. What are you supposed to do in that situation? Peter, you got to win that. Somebody got to challenge him in those moments right there. And it's been popcorn across the offensive line with them and the tight ends lately.
Well, and I think that's the frustrating thing, is that in the run game, they have the players on the offensive line to be more successful.
They do. Like, Kevin Zeitler's one of the more physical guys out.
J.C. Latham, PFF, has graded decently well in run blocking.
So
Peter Skoronski, we know how good he's been. Cushenberry, I know, has had some inconsistency coming off the injury. And Dan Moore's about $100 million left tackle. Like, sometimes these things are simple, Ramon. They've got to be better in blocking the run. I don't know what other way to put it. Like, how do you get that out of a line, Ramon, that you know is capable of playing better in the run game but isn't?
Forcing them. I'm just completely honest with you, forcing them. We don't have, our coaches will hold up the script. We don't have a complicated script this week. We got these 5 runs and these 3 passes, and this is all we're going to run. You force them. I joke with the saying that we used to say as an offensive line and as an offense, you can lead a horse to water, Will, but you can't make him drink. You know what we would also say?
You could drown them.
You can drown them. Shout out to
A different word at the end.
Yeah, we've been very, very mean this morning, man.
Yeah,
but
aggressive.
But that's the point, though, too. You're paid to do a job, and you're paid for your services of being experts at this. You're the top 1% when it comes down to it. Like, the scheme and all that matters. Like, when we talk about the schematics of also combo blocks, right guard, right tackle, being together on the same page, communicating to the linebackers, to the tight ends. It's all of those small details, man, that really simplify what the run game is. And it seems to me with how they're getting beat or how they're just on different levels that they don't have that right now. And that's what I thought they had to have this year coming into the season. That's the reason you looked at the offensive line. I felt better about betting the over this year because of this
over
group.
on win total.
Win totals,
season,
yeah, it was 5.5. That seemed light work to me because I thought this group would dominate the line of scrimmage. I'm adamantly charging this offensive line for being flagrant this year.
Yeah, it feels like, and again, the numbers bear it out, that this team is more efficient in the pass game out of 12 personnel than they are in the run game. Just feels like linebackers are teeing off when they see the Titans go under center in 12 personnel and are getting downhill so quickly.
Yes, they are. And it's because it's obvious on when they're going to run it, too.
It is.
You see it.
Well, and I think, too, and one of the corresponding changes that you could make, the Titans have tried it at times this year, is go jumbo. Have Corey Levin come in and be your fullback. The Houston Texans are doing it all the time. Yep. They're going to take on the Bills tonight. That's their MO. Yeah. They bring in an extra tackle. Arthur Smith's doing it in Pittsburgh. We obviously know that he did that here.
Yes, he is.
Well, what's preventing them from relying on that more when they go in these big sets or go even 13 personnel, go one back, three tight ends, and one of those tight ends is Corey Levin or an extra tackle like John Ojukwu? I
would say putting the ball in Cam's hand a little bit too much is the trend. Doing the rollouts, trying to make him be a playmaker for this team too. What's preventing them to him is exactly what I said. They're not comfortable being uncomfortable as play callers right now.
You think they're relying too much on Cam Ward?
I personally do. I've said this time and time again. The idea that he's going to be, this shining star coming out of the sky is what I feel like we've seen this year. Well, the run game ain't working. Put it in Cam's hand. I think Cam has that infectious personality and attitude that you believe in everything that he says. And sometimes, I've said this before, you got to tell guys what to do. You make a lot of money being told what to do in the NFL when you execute it. And that's where this year I feel like it's gone sideways. I feel like if we interview Coach Brian Callahan right now and ask him what would he do differently going into this year, he would probably say take the ball out of Cam's hand more. Commit more to the running game.
Well, and I am curious if that is the corresponding adjustment this upcoming offseason. I would not be surprised at all, Ramon, if the Titans were really aggressive in getting a solid running back to complement Cam Ward in this offense.
Big back? Quick back, which one? Solid.
Good back.
Good back. Yeah.
I mean, because again, I don't know who the head coach is, so I don't know what system they want to run or who is the ideal runner for whoever this coach is. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury might have a different vision than Robert Saleh and then Clint Kubiak, who's going to be here this weekend coaching the Seahawks offense. I just don't know. But I would not be surprised at all if they spent either high-level draft capital or free agent dollars to address the running back position in 2026.
I'd love to have Jaylen Warren out of Pittsburgh. He'll be a free agent.
Tony Pollard this season, according to Next Gen Stats and NFL Pro, -10 rushing yards over expected. To be fair, that stat is not always meaningful that you are good or bad. Christian McCaffrey leads the league in or is last in the league in rushing yards over expected. It's got like hundreds of negative yards over expected because he just gets the ball so much. Last year, Tony Pollard got 12 more yards, quote unquote, over expected than what the analytics said. He is a tough runner. He is not the type of runner to just totally erase mistakes that you are making up front. To be fair, though, Ramon, who is? Because we said the same thing about Derrick Henry, and he's probably going to have a gold jacket at this point.
Yes, he is. Julius Chestnut, do you want to go ground and pound with him? Switch up?
No, I mean, I think, I love Julius, but I think you have the backs that are going to put you in the best position to be successful. There just has to be, A, commitment to the run game, and B, you just got to block better. I mean, it truly is that simple up front, I think, on this offensive
I
line.
hate to say it like that, but yes.
Yesterday, Florida had a candidate for their head coaching position, and then a couple minutes later, they didn't. We'll talk about that. A wrap of Hour 1 coming up next.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay though.
So this is a historic coaching carousel we are living in. It's very fortunate, the times we are college football fans, just to be able to have the internet. Having access to the internet right now as a college football fan, if you are not an LSU, Ole Miss, or Florida fan, it's great.
Yeah.
It's really great. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee. Tulane head coach John Summerall is not interviewing with Florida on Thursday, sources tell On3, after Gators Online previously reported a meeting was on the books for the Tulane head coach John Summerall. He is one of the top targets for Auburn, alongside interim head coach DJ Durkin, Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz, who I also believe is a backup Lane Kiffin option for Florida. And Pete Nakos says, alongside Vanderbilt's Clark Lee, I don't think Clark Lee is a candidate for anywhere but Penn State and Vandy. And I think he's going to stay at Vandy based on the rumblings that are out there right now as well. So NOLA.com then also says, a Tulane source reiterated the report was not accurate, adding no meeting with Florida had ever been scheduled. Why do you think Florida people are putting out there a John Summerall connection right now, Ramon, if there had really never been a meeting scheduled?
Putting pressure on Lane, I feel. This is the type of situation where they're trying to gain back momentum. I'd expect, hey, put this out there real quick. It's the same thing you get when coaches get raises, right? Like this coach's name is involved in these type of situations. This to me is negotiating or trying to force somebody's hand through the public pressure, public perception also. That's kind of where I'm going on this one. If he quickly said no and nothing had ever happened, this comes from inside of Florida camp. Well, there's no other way around this one. Is that how you see it?
Yeah. I do too.
Yeah.
I think everyone's trying to hurry up and push Lane Kiffin towards just making a decision.
James Franklin can hit the ground running right now. You mentioned this, I feel like yesterday. You said you don't want to be the last one picking from the bottom of the barrel.
It's musical chairs.
It is.
You don't want to be the last one without a seat. The last one without a
sense.
coach. 100%. So I ultimately think John Summerall is going to be the next head coach at Auburn. Stephen Godfrey has joked with us on the show, who, by the way, will be on tomorrow at 8, that he is like if you built a future Auburn coach in a lab, which is so funny for so many reasons. But I did love John Summerall tweeting out a picture yesterday after all of this had kind of been settled, and then you have the report following up the report that there is no meeting. And he tweets out a picture of a Wednesday night meeting with his quarterbacks and says, most important meeting I have all week, Wednesday night with the QBs at On3 Sports. It's just a picture of him in a meeting room with his quarterbacks. And then he posted another one, I think, with his running backs after that as well.
Okay. He's doing the job. He's supposed to, because he knows this too. You're going to bring some of those guys with him to Auburn when he's done with that job in Tulane, man. He's in a good spot. Lane is also. Any other coach that's taken very serious right now are in good spots. Like, think about this. You got to call them blue bloods at this point. They've won championships recently.
Who?
LSU, Florida.
Oh, there's no question. Yeah,
like these
no
jobs,
question.
even Arkansas, I'd hope with the money, it's not a bad job. Imagine Arkansas being the worst of the best. Like,
yeah, it's not a blue blood program,
No.
but it's still a decent job. Yeah.
yes, and it's a good place to be at. It's a matter of what they're putting too much, I think, emphasis on Lane's family when it comes down to this one.
I do also think that these things happen behind the scenes a lot of times, but are just happening a lot more publicly this time because it's Lane Kiffin and because Lane loves a camera.
He's made his entire family public too. This time, I don't know.
Yeah, he has.
No other
For
coach
sure.
has done it the way he's done it so far.
Yeah, probably not to this extent. You're right.
Right.
I think that there are often coaches that are probably touring places and taking private aviation flights with tracking numbers that you can't track and doing these things at night, maybe.
Yeah.
not in kind of plain daylight. I just think that Lane Kiffin's way of operating, nothing's really happening in secret with him. He didn't brush his teeth without tweeting it.
Didn't he have a running back also tweet or something?
Kawan Lacey, yeah. There was a retweet that was kind of cryptic about him maybe leaving. You could pick your conspiracy theory or pick your message board thread and believe that he is staying at all three places or going to all three places that are vying for his services right now. Let's go to the phones. Gator Mike has called in. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Man, what is up? First, Will, I don't know if you were listening the other day, but Ramon was trashing me in the YouTube channel chat
Was he?
on 3HL the other day.
I was.
Sounds like Florida week.
He's lobbing in barbs from the other side. Yeah,
I was. I'm talking. I was out here like you. I'm with a crowbar, Gator Mike. It's all love at the end of the day. But trash talking Will has made me okay with this. We need more hate in sports. Okay, clean hate. And if I catch you with a stray from time to time because it's Florida Hate Week, then I'm okay with that. I caught one last night from somebody that's a Florida fan.
Right. It's respectful hate.
Is
that the best way to put it?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I love that. I tune in first thing this morning. I get Will talking about participation trophies at the end of the year for Florida. All that. It's all good. It's all great. But yeah, I agree totally. I was talking to Justin. About the John Summerall thing. Yeah, I think it was more from Florida's camp just putting it out there, just like, hey, we're moving on. And then of course somebody tweeted out that there was a plane that went to Atlanta. So, of course, now everybody's speculating that they're doing that as like a Brick Key smoke show or whatever. But I think, obviously Lane's still the number one target. I think they'll go from there. But did you all see, or Will, did you touch on our injury report for the game?
It has 17 players on it?
Yeah, and George Gums now. It's like we can't have nice things. It's like George Gums, our starting linebacker out, our top two receivers out. Caleb Banks will definitely be back, so that'll be good. Hopefully, Vernell Brown. He's questionable, yeah. Hopefully he'll be back, but yeah, it's crazy, man. Like, it'll be nuts. But yeah, looking forward to it. Definitely Trash Talk Week. And Ramon, seriously, I hope you have a great time.
I appreciate
Night game in the swamp. You get to see Won't Back Down at nighttime, which is a great tradition now that's been going on. But, at the end of the day, hopefully we win, and I hope you come back defeated, but that's okay.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate the call. Good to hear from you as always.
That's an appropriate call right there.
We love Gator.
Yeah, we do.
Love it.
That's been my first time, I think, ever in a night game in Florida.
Really?
Yeah.
It's cool.
It's always been 3:30 for us there.
It's intense. It's the second worst I've ever been treated as a road fan.
Good.
Worst was Ohio State, and there's not a close. It's not really a close second. Ohio State fan. I've talked to so many Tennessee fans who are like, those Ohio State fans are the worst I've ever dealt with.
Listen, Central America, baby.
They're on Georgia level.
It was different. I had an Iowa fan yelling at me, and the mom felt so bad. She was like, hey, she goes to Iowa. Don't mind her at all. And I was just like, y'all need to get a muzzle on her ASAP.
Do I look like a jack to you?
No, you look like Justin Hawkins.
You do look like Jackson.
It's okay.
If Gator Mark calls in one more time, I don't know what we're going to do.
Coming up, Steve Sarkisian addresses his future at Texas. A lot of folks compare him to Josh Heupel. Is Steve Sarkisian worthy of a lot of the praise that he gets? Let's appropriately rate the head coach at UT and UT Junior coming up next.
7:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as they prepare to host the Seahawks this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. The first injury report of the week dropped yesterday. Alec Ayumanor, Daryl Baker Jr., Kendall Brooks, and Xavier Woods all did not practice due to injury. Chimere Dike, who left the game early this past Sunday against the Texans with a chest contusion, was a full participant in practice yesterday. In other NFL news, Giants quarterback Jackson Dart remains in concussion protocol, but the rookie returned to practice yesterday, which leaves his return this week against the Lions a possibility. And Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice yesterday, but has still not been designated to return from injured reserve just yet. Meanwhile, current starting quarterback for the Bengals, Joe Flacco, was limited as he's dealing with a shoulder injury. Some top matchups in college hoops last night as number 4 Arizona upset number 3 UConn 71-67, and number 11 Alabama took down number 8 Illinois 90-86. Tonight, Tennessee takes on Tennessee State in Knoxville. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. Central. You can hear Vol Network's call right here on The Zone starting at 6 o'clock. Tonight, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off with Thursday Night Football. The 7-3 Bills take on the 5-5 Texans in Houston. Backup quarterback Davis Mills gets his third consecutive start for the Texans, and kickoff is at 7:15 on Prime Video. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Off and running on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045. How you jump in? Coming up in 15 minutes, Coach Dave McGinnis, Titans Radio's head coach, voice of the Vols, Mike Keith at 8:20. And your comments in the F and Beg chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Via Brandon Marcello of CBS Sports and 247, Steve Sarkisian says he feels compelled to address rumors. SEC coaches teleconference this week, quote, people reporting or insinuating there's a possibility I could leave the University of Texas, and that's absolutely false and untrue. I am not going anywhere. Not even the Nashville, Coach Cam Ward? Sark, maybe? No?
Maybe.
Okay. Ramon, has Steve Sarkisian been a success at Texas?
Ultimately, I think yes, he has. I think from where they were coming from, their expectation, this new world of NIL, like we're quick to throw the baby out with the bathwater, like all the time in these sports. And I feel like this conversation comes up often when we look at what guys have done, or sometimes you get a Kentucky game that is 16-13. That's all right. Did you win? That style points, I think, probably took off more during the BCS era, where the points and all that type of matter came a part of the game and stuff. Steve Sarkisian is a success. He's a good coach. Has he won the national championship? No. We go back to the same conversation. Has anybody been able to do it like Ohio State? No. Like, these are the questions that you got to be real about in this era. Georgia has dominated. Ohio State has dominated. Bama has still been in the mix, and so has Texas also. You look at how he's handled Arch Manning this year. You can't tell me from week 1 all the way up to now that they hadn't gradually gotten better. The one thing that he's got to be capable of doing is getting that offense to where it's just a powerhouse, right? Because his defense has answered the call every single time. His teams are competing each and every single week. The measure of a success for coaches has to be more than a national championship. He's checked every single box. He has. I mean, he can't get Georgia just yet, but it ain't many that are beating Georgia at that blip.
Just Kalen DeBoer.
Just Kalen DeBoer.
Honestly.
But look at the rosters. I was listening to 3HL, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. They was talking about what was the most talented rosters. Alabama's number 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
There's you got to have that.
Yeah. I think this year has really been the first year where Steve Sarkisian has really not met expectations. And I think there was a lot of buildup towards Arch Manning finally getting his opportunity in year 3 as a college quarterback, year 1 as a starter. That defense that is just loaded at all three levels. They're replacing a lot at pass catcher, and I think that's really hurt them. They've not really found that level of consistency at the wide receiver position, despite some flashes from Ryan Wingo, who makes some incredible plays. It just, things don't feel as consistent there in the pass game for multiple reasons, mostly because their offensive line is just getting olayed over and over again. I think Steve Sarkisian is Josh Heupel. I think relative to their expectations at their programs and the resources that both of those coaches have to deal with, I think right now they're in the same boat. They are playing the same song and dance that has been meeting expectations. Again, I'm not saying they're the same coach. I'm saying based on the expectations of where they are, they have had the same level of success. Now the hardest part has to happen. You have to try to make the next step into the elites of the elites. Texas is already in that elite conversation. They're just losing too many of those games to jump to the top of it at the end of January for a college football playoff national championship. So Steve Sarkisian inherited, without question, a better situation at Texas than Josh Heupel did at Tennessee. Josh Heupel had quicker success at Tennessee than Sark did at Texas. Sark was 5-7 in year one, 8-5 in year two. Heupel, of course, won 11 games in year two at 2022. And then Sarkisian started to catch up, obviously. And then you go to Tuscaloosa and you win a couple of years ago. Then you go to a semifinal against Ohio State. Steve Sarkisian is 45-20 right now in year five. Josh Heupel is 44-18.
Oh, wow.
Ranked wins, though, Josh Heupel's got 10, Sark's got 14. Now, some of those are in the Big 12 in 2021 and 2022. But both of these fan bases, I think, need to hear the same message right now, Ramon. Don't get tired of meeting expectations when so many programs that are your peers in this sport aren't even doing that. Yes, you would like to be competing more and more successfully against the Georgia of the world, against Alabama. But the way that you do that is by continuing to knock on the door and not panicking at the first sign of expectations not being totally just underneath you and totally flying over that bar of expectations. I think some of the Sark hate, Ramon, has kind of jumped the shark a little bit. It's jumped the Sark a little bit.
What was his messaging before the season was, be calm, I felt like, about this team.
Be calm about Arch Manning.
About Arch Manning. And that's
managing expectations on him.
That's been, to me, I feel like the biggest black cloud over him was the expectation that Arch, because of the pedigree, because of the family lineage, was supposed to be Heisman winner, was supposed to be the guy to take them over the top. Because if Quinn Ewers did it with his team, then, I mean, the Golden Boy is most definitely supposed to do it with Arch Manning. And he did say that early on. And I feel like we've forgotten that he said, no, simmer down. We're not there yet with Arch. And you see what he's capable of moving forward. But it's usually what you always say. It ain't the year that you expected. It's the year after. Now, Arch comes back. Yeah, Arch comes back next year, and I expect he should. That team offensively, because the offensive line has the ability to grow up also, if the defense still stays the same now, the expectation for the 2026 Texas Longhorns, that's a different story right there.
Yeah, for sure.
I think those expectations go through the roof. But he's checked every single box. His first season in the SEC, Texas plays in the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Like, that in itself is something that should give him an extra 3 years of bond with his expectation as a head coach.
On YouTube, comment says, that's the biggest thing. There was so much hype on Arch that the expectations blew up. To be fair to Sarkisian, he did not put those expectations on Arch Manning. We did. Media did.
Sure did.
And he is paying for expectations that he did not co-sign upon. Now, that's just called being the head coach of Texas. So you don't get to run away from pressure and expectations because that's what you sign up for when you put burnt orange on and put the Longhorn on your chest. But I think programs and fan bases have to look at the last two national champions for a little bit of patience. Michigan pre-beating Ohio State finally, wandering through the wilderness under Jim Harbaugh, he looked like a dead man walking there. Now he is the head coach of the Los Angeles Chargers because he got them so well operating that they won a national championship. Same exact thing could be said for Ryan Day. I think the thing that fan bases have to embrace, Ramon, is that you can get hot in December and all of those worries go away if you just get hot in December. That didn't used to be the case. How many teams and coaches that got fired or teams that didn't meet expectations that were considered failures because they lost 2 games in the BCS or even 4-team playoff eras would be viewed completely differently if they had just had a 12-team playoff to use their mulligan.
Arkansas in that era, right? Arkansas.
We can go down the list.
There's
There's so many teams.
It's so many, to your point.
Like the SEC championship loser in all those Florida-Alabama battles.
Come on, man.
How many times does the loser of that game get some revenge? Like, how do we view Urban Meyer on some of his teams that did win national championships or didn't? How do we view some of the Nick Saban teams that slipped up at Auburn late in the season and lost their opportunities to play for a national championship? How do we view 2022 Tennessee if they had the opportunity to, like, there are so many teams with seats at the tables who are championship or bust, and the 12-team playoff has allowed them to up their expectations and up their buy-in. That does not mean, though, that bust is always a failure.
Say that again, because I feel like fans, I know they do get it, but like we get so emotional about this thing, this football thing, that is hard to recognize. Yeah, no, that was a good season. That was above what I thought we were going to be. We said the Vols specifically this year.
Right.
4 losses. Okay, cool. 9-3, man, you cooked 10-2. Remember at the beginning parts of 10-2. Okay, now you got something, and then reality sets in.
Well, because now we have dollar amounts that are put towards what these rosters, quote unquote, cost. Even in basketball, where reportedly Mark Pope has what some people say a $22 million basketball roster, and they've got 2 losses already this season.
Big losses.
It is easier for us to place value on a group of 18 to 22-year-olds and therefore raise our expectation to unrealistic levels based on the money and not the way the team was actually put together and the bounces that they got in order to get to whatever their final record is.
From a fan's perspective, would it make them feel better if salaries were public, if this was also a collective bargaining agreement?
I don't think that matters, to be honest with you.
Because then you can really say you're paid to play. Still, we're still having hard conversations, though, to say we're having hard conversations being able to judge these kids, young men, young women, when it comes down to NIL, when they're in reality, you're a paid commodity. It's the same way you were looking at Dan Moore as a pro. It should be better. And it's easy for us to say it now.
But that doesn't make us feel any better that he's not playing well. Like, the only thing that's going to make a lot of these fan bases feel better, Ramon, is a college football playoff national championship trophy. That is it.
But it's only one.
Yeah, I know. That's not based in any kind of logic. It's just the reality that more teams than ever have national title expectations every single year because there is a clearer pathway towards winning a national championship at more places. There is more money. The rosters are more evenly distributed with 4- and 5-star talent. There's not a Nick Saban standing in your way. With that, I think comes more delusion than maybe ever before. Maybe we just know more about it because we have more social media, we have more message boards. One thing is for sure, the implications of this for Steve Sarkisian, Ramon, he is under more pressure in 2026, I think, than any other coach in this conference. Steve Sarkisian is not going anywhere. That's true. But at Texas, the knock on the door from boosters is a little bit louder and a little bit different than it is at a lot of other places. And we could talk about how he compares to Heupel, and there are a lot of comparisons based on how they've met expectations at their respective programs. There is nobody under more pressure in 2026 in the SEC than Steve Sarkisian.
I agree with that.
Coming up, Coach Dave McGinnis, Titans Radio's head coach. We preview Titans and Seahawks with Mac after this.
You're losing your hair and you need a simple solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology with top-rated physicians. Something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need Dr. Tanya Pauls and her team at Advanced Hair. They've completely redefined hair restoration, from the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, balding spot, thinning hair, address them all with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment and a calm, relaxed environment with the most experienced professionals. Advanced Hair has performed tens of thousands of these breakthrough treatments. And get this, your own natural hair begins to regrow the very next day. No one in Nashville can offer anything like the Advanced FUE found at Advanced Hair, and I highly recommend their team. It starts with your free consultation. You can call them at 629-348-HAIR. If you qualify, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. Again, their number is 629-348-HAIR, or go to their website at advancedhair.com.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone as Hour 2 continues with 11-year NFL veteran, Vault Network analyst Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. We bring in another radio analyst, which, of course, you know every time this music plays, Coach Dave McGinnis, Titans Radio's head coach, presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Matt, good morning. How are you?
Yeah, Will, Ramon, good morning. I'm doing good.
Hey, Matt.
Getting ready for the day here.
Mac, Ramon says that his BVS meter, his battered Vol syndrome nervousness meter for Tennessee and Florida is at about a 5. Ramon, is that what you said?
I was about a 3.
About a 3 out of 10. So we're feeling good. He's heading to the Swamp tomorrow and heading into the Lions Den. I just hope he comes back in one piece.
Hey, Ramon, how many times did you play down there during your career at the Vol?
I played twice down there, Coach Mac.
Twice?
Yes, sir.
Because, I mean, that back in the day, and then you were playing back in the day, that place was rolling, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Coach Matt, that fan base get real close to you on the sideline in those benches. Like, you hear every word, every syllable, every 4-letter word that they have, Coach Matt. It's some of those 4-letter words they put together that aren't supposed to be together. Like, they're good at it, Coach Mac. They're good at talking trash down there in Gainesville.
No, I'm sure they're very poetic down there. When I would go down there to work players out at the University of Florida, that's the thing I noticed is that stadium, they can get close to you down there.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
It's one of those, Mac, too, where the rule is you can't have the student section behind the opposing bench. So they put 2 rows of opposing fans in front of the students, which is just even worse for the fans that are in between the students and the players as well. It's not fun.
Well, you know, it's very intentional. That's why I was wondering. I was going to ask. That's why I wanted to ask Ramon.
Yeah.
Because sometimes in the rotation, you don't play at all those places, but you played down there twice, so you know what it is.
Oh yeah, this is the first time at night though, Coach Mac, that I remember playing down. I know we didn't play down because that was a 3:30 Eastern game more times than not. I've never had it this late in the season too. So we'll see how beat up they are and how that fan base continues to. It's going to be rocking, Coach Mac. It's a rivalry game. You know how these things go.
Well, that's why I asked. But I mean, it's a good thing it's at night because then they'll be sober.
That's true. That's true.
That's true, Coach Mac.
They're just going to be sitting at home all day doing nothing.
Yeah. They'll be drinking water, Coach Mac. The urinals will be full because they'll be very hydrated with water.
Yeah. Either that or they won't even go in there.
Well, that's got a lot of bushes down there, Coach Mac.
Hey, let me tell you something. To me, that's a game. Vol's got to win that game.
Yeah, they do. That's a must-have, Coach Mac. Absolutely a must-have.
Definitely. Coach Mac with us, presented by Two Rivers Ford. Mac, what can Cam Ward build on that worked against the Texans, especially on that last drive that's got to work this weekend against the Seattle Seahawks?
Well, this defense, I mean, this is a 3-4 defense. It's a little bit different. Last week, that defense that they played, I mean, you knew where the pressure was coming from really quick because those 2 edge dudes, we've talked about it. I mean, we know those guys just as well as anybody knows them. That's what you got to look for in this game. This is a pressure by committee defense, and they do a lot more of moving around and personnel different packages. So, but the key is you're not going to be able to, because of the fact how much different personnel they use, and they'll use some different matchups against. In other words, a lot of defensive coordinators now are starting to run the mismatch game. Because it's a chess game between personnel you put out there on offense, how you match personnel with that defense. Some defensive coordinators are able now to mismatch what's going on as far as with the personnel packages because they've got people that can do a couple of things like safeties that can play linebacker, which this group has. So it's finding out where they are, where the pressure is coming from. But still, I think the overriding factor is getting rid of the football. Getting rid of the football, and again, I mean it's cliche to say, and it's very repetitive to say, but you got to somehow find some semblance of a consistent running game to take the pressure off of what's going on.
Mac, it's really interesting because Mike McDonald has spoken about that, about matching tendencies instead of personnel. When you put
that's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
when I watch, we did the same thing, but the key to that is you've got to have the personnel defensively that can do several things. Because if you're going to play a nickel or a dime defense against big personnel, then somebody has to be able from that back end to play in the box and to not just stand there as an X on the sheet, but could do some things, where it's not a detriment to your defense. If you've got guys, that's why it's so important as a defensive coordinator. If you've got guys that can multitask, you got a huge advantage. Yeah, especially when you can play same as is what we call it, regardless of the personnel that they put against you. So the answer to that is, and I'm seeing that more and more with all the tape that I watch this year.
Coach Mack, speaking of the run game, we talked about this earlier, and Will asked me, and from a player perspective, we do as the coaches tell us to when it comes down to the run game. I told him we've had scripts where the offensive coordinator come in and say, here's a script. We got 5 runs and 3 passes, and this is just what we're sticking to. Coach Mack, in those situation where you're trying to mentally prepare your team offensively to run the football, and there are no other options other than, hey, we're going to hammer this rock until we crack it. What is it like from a coach's perspective to honestly get uncomfortable with calling plays and committing to the run like that? Because not every player is going to be successful, especially on the ground when they realize what the game plan is at that time.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to consistently stay with it, but the circumstances dictate that a lot.
Okay.
And when you're in a ball game, the biggest thing that dictates that, Ramon, I mean, I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, that you haven't lived. Once the score gets separated, that's out the window.
Yeah.
That is out the window. You can stay true to what you want with the run game as long as you want to, unless the score is separated. Now, you can continue to run it if the score is separated, but then basically, I mean, you're not in it at all. So it starts with when you start out, being able to stay, we always say this, stay even or ahead of the chains, and don't let the score get separated early that forces you to be one-dimensional.
No doubt about it. Coach Mack, when you view Cam's ability to push this offense also, what is one thing that you feel like he can do as a player with these wide receivers that's in front of him, and how – finding his guy, is that also one of those field situations, or do you continue to go to a veteran like Van Jefferson as opposed to some younger guys? Maybe Xavier Restrepo plays this week. Who knows? You go to the tight ends, Coach Mack, because this isn't a season I don't think anybody imagined it being. And when it boils down to how this is kind of unfolded, losing a lot of vets and just the injuries that they've had this year, Coach.
Yeah, well, they've lost a lot of people. But so to me, I think what's very, very important is, we talk about getting the ball out. Throw it to the guy that's open. Yeah. That's what you need to do, and throw it and take what the defense is giving you. That's what's very, very important. And I think you stay away from completely just of what you said of trying to force it to somebody. Okay, because first of all, you're down in people. You're going to have to bring some new people up. Clearly, because of the injury situation at one position that you have. But when you're into this type of thing, you got to be able to be willing to distribute it. Throw it to the guy that's open and throw it to what the defense is giving you early. Don't hold it to force it to somebody.
Coach Tate McGinnis, presented by Two Rivers Ford, our guest, Thursdays at 7:20 here on the show. Mac, Gary Kubiak's son, Clint Kubiak, the offensive coordinator of the Seattle Seahawks team. You would have seen a lot of Gary, obviously, when he was with the Houston Texans, and you were here with the Titans when he was the coach there from 2006 to 2013. In this offense specifically, Mac, what elements of Gary Kubiak do you see in Clint Kubiak, and what was kind of your first time maybe getting to know him as someone that's coached against his dad quite a bit?
Well, I know. I mean, his dad and I interviewed for several of the same. We were kind of coming up as hot coordinators at the time. We interviewed for several of the same jobs, for head coaching jobs. And so, I mean, look, it's all part of the Shanahan tree. I mean, that's what it is. And when you look at it, and really seriously, you know, Mike Shanahan was one of the best ever at being able to use different personnel groups and give you different looks. And everybody that's come from that tree does, you know, some sort of the same thing with their little twist to it. So I mean, it's a rhythm. It's a very good rhythm offense. And here's the other thing too. Mike Shanahan, Gary Kubiak, all those guys in that tree, they are always the theme that runs through those coordinators that call plays out of that offense. They're really good at stacking calls. And by stacking calls, I mean they're really good at setting up calls with a call. That's very challenging for a defensive coordinator.
Mac, Jackson Smith-Njigba this season with 97 targets, 72 catches, 1,146 yards, 15.9 yards per reception. He leads the league in yards per target, yards per touch. I mean, just all the alphabet numbers, as you like to say, Mac. What impresses you most about Jackson Smith-Njigba on film?
Well, I'm telling you, Will, he's the truth. That's just all there is to it. I mean, there's nothing phony about what he's doing. Of course, you know, coming out, vetting him in the draft, you know, looking at him, but he fits that. He fits what they do very, 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 very well. And even at a young age, he's a go-to guy. He's a go-to guy. When you start putting the film on, if you're a defensive coordinator getting ready to game plan it, that's the guy. That's whose picture you put up on the board on Wednesday when you meet with the team, saying, this dude we've got to pay attention to, and here's how we're going to do it. He is the truth. I mean, that's all you can say.
Mac, how does Sam Darnold fit what they do for someone that now is in a new place, obviously succeeding where he was last year at Minnesota and really reviving his career? What is working so well for him right now?
Well, I mean, he's a veteran quarterback, and Sam Darnold has always been a distributor of the football. And this offense is set up for that. But he's been kicked around in this league, right? I mean, he's been bounced around, kicked around, and, you know, you get some scars, you know, as a player and as a coach, but you learn a lot from it. That's why you're seeing a lot of these rejuvenated quarterbacks around the league. You know, I keep talking about, and I'm just not paying lip service to it. I just know the importance of time on task, and he's another great example of slotting in finally to a place that he's comfortable with. I mean, he wasn't, you know, there's several teams that have given up on him, but clearly he still had the ability, and it just, you know, it's being able to find your footing, you know, after some years of experience with a system that he's surrounded by really good players, but the one thing about him though is you can still pressure him. You can still pressure him, but he's surrounded with enough good people they can make up for a lot of problems. Like they overcame 4 interceptions last week to come back against a really good Rams team and nearly win that football game. Yeah. So I would say he's a veteran quarterback that's very comfortable in his own skin as to where he is right now.
Coach Mack, the matchup this weekend between Leonard Williams versus Jeffrey Simmons on either side of the ball, I think is going to be super unique, man. Leonard's having another good year this year, and Jeffrey Simmons, I'm sure you find your guys in these type of matchups, Coach Mack, competing with the other players on the other side of the ball, like a Leonard Williams versus Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah, well, not, you know, they don't really pay it. You know, I've been around some great ones, so they measure themselves against themselves. You know, first of all, to begin with. And I don't think, I mean, especially from what we've seen from Jeffrey Simmons this year, that he's really worried about you know, comparing himself to anybody else. He's really, what he's concerned with is putting it all out there for what he's doing. I mean, he proved that by how hard he worked to get back, you know, even last week, even with the way this season is going to play. But you're right. I mean, you look, those are 2 examples of those kind of dudes that Joe Green used to talk to me about when we'd go look for players. Those are bears walking on 2 legs. They both are.
Yes, they are. Just real quick from a coaching's perspective, You have much pushback on Jeffrey Simmons pretty much calling out guys on the team. I know from a locker room perspective, it can be received a certain way if you say it publicly. But as coaches, you got to probably relish those type of situations right there for vets trying to take over the responsibility of how guys play on Sundays, Coach Mack.
Well, you earn the right to do that if you're performing, right?
Right. Yeah, you do.
That's you're in the right. I mean, I've been on some teams with some guys that would wear their teammates out if they weren't producing like they need to. Because really, basically, I mean, when you start performing on Sunday, you're not only performing for your money, you're performing for everybody else's. And if a guy's performing and has got enough water in his bucket, to be able to say, hey, we've got to pick this up, that never bothered me a bit. I was with some real alpha dudes for a lot of my career, and they never had a problem with that.
No doubt.
Coach Mack with us, presented by Two Rivers Ford, Thursdays at 7:20 here on the show. Titans and Seahawks this weekend on Titans Radio at 11 o'clock, of course, with Titans Countdown. Mack, always appreciate it, sir.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, Will. See you in the booth. Ramon, good luck down there, Florida.
Same. Coach Mack. Thanks, Coach.
See you, man.
All right, there's Coach Mack here with us this morning previewing Titans and Seahawks. Coming up, Thursday Night Football tonight, AFC South team represented. Buffalo, Houston. Are the Texans back? We'll talk about it next.
Did you know that up to 50% of the air you breathe in your home comes from your crawl space? Have you ever looked in your crawl space? I get it. Most of us don't even want to know what's in there, but moisture in your crawl space can create unhealthy issues that can make their way into the air you breathe every day in your home. It's Ramon Foster, and this is where United Structural Systems can help you. USS has been keeping homes dry and stable in Middle Tennessee since 1994, so you know they aren't going anywhere. Help control moisture and musty smells with mold treatment and crawl space encapsulation that comes with a USS guarantee. Encapsulation helps reduce high humidity in your crawl space. It also helps deter mold and mildew and protects your crawl space from pests and wood rot. So go ahead and turn your crawl space into a healthy space. Reach out to the company I trust for all foundation repair and waterproofing. And that's USS, man. You can go to their website at USSTN.com. That's USSTN.com, or call them the old school way. 615-488-7855. United Structural Systems.
Wrapping up the first half of the show on Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooter's Coffee. There's a storm brewing in the college football playoff selection process we're going to talk about in 15 minutes. I feel like Anne Hathaway's character in The Dark Knight, Catwoman.
Hey.
There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. And pretty soon,
do it.
You're going to know. I don't know the rest of the line, but I used to know it. I used to know it. Actually, that's Dark Knight Rises. That's not The Dark Knight.
By the way, The Diplomat, while we're on pop culture.
Oh, I've got an even better show for you.
No, you don't. It can't be better than The Diplomat.
I just started that last night.
The Diplomat?
Yeah. It's really good.
Amazing.
It is good.
So
You done
far.
with it?
Listen, I got 2 episodes left.
Oh, you're in for.
I got 2 episodes left. It's funny because it got to a suspenseful part last night, and I told my wife, I told my boo thing. I said, Keish, I'll start this over with you right now if you want me to. I'm like at the beginning of like season 2, so I got enough time to go back and look at it. I said, Keish, I'll start this over with you because it's this good. Will, it was an intense moment last night, and I said, listen, we can do it together. If you want to, okay? No, you go ahead and watch it. You're already in it. I said, don't ask me any questions about it later, okay?
All right, well, I don't want follow-ups. This was your chance.
Well, last night. So what's going on right here? I paused the TV. I looked at her. I didn't even say it. She's like, I'm doing it, ain't I? I said, yes. Yes, you are. You're doing it. I told you I would go back if you want. I was like, we're not doing this right now. I was like, you got your show over there. I told you I'd do this with you earlier. And now she wants to watch it. I'm 2 episodes from the end of season 3. Get married, they said. It'll be fun.
Okay.
I'll play. I love you, Boot. But it's awesome.
There's a storm coming, Mr. Wayne. You and your friends better batten down the hatches because when it hits, you're all going to wonder how you ever thought you could live so large and leave so little for the rest of us.
Sounds like the
It's
world.
a chill down your spine.
Did.
The Beast in Me on Netflix. Terrific limited series. I've watched 4 episodes in 3 days.
The Beast in Me?
The Beast in Me on Netflix. It is a limited series. There are only 8 episodes, and it's over and done with. The guy that plays Mike Ehrmantraut in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad is a character in this. Oh, my goodness. It is so good. So good. It's the #1 show on Netflix right now.
My device isn't
At least
part
until
of the Netflix household.
Yeah, no, it does that now. Until Stranger Things comes out next week. Then I will be fully in on Stranger Things.
Okay.
Anyway. What?
Why is this telling me my device isn't part of the Netflix household for this account? I'm the owner of this account.
I know, but that's what it does now. If you're outside of your Wi-Fi network, it'll ask you to like verify, is this still you or whatever? That way you can't share passwords as easily.
Man, you don't. Boy.
I know.
All right. I ain't mean to derail the show like this, but get right, Netflix.
Show recommendations are about on par with Bills-Texans talk.
I mean, basically.
Bills and Texans will play tonight. Buffalo is a 6-point favorite, 7:15 on Amazon Prime. Are the Texans back to being a team we take seriously in the AFC, Ramon? They were 0-5 in one-score games to start the season. Yeah. They have now won 2 one-score games in a row, unfortunately one at the hands of the Titans on Sunday. Davis Mills is going to start this game again. How confident are you in Houston's ability to upset Buffalo at home?
Tonight, not much at all, to be quite honest with you. Okay. No, absolutely not. Davis Mills last week they sputtered to a dub against the Titans. I'm not going to belittle the Titans' efforts in that because it was good, especially defensively. But what they have facing them tonight is Josh Allen and the offense that they have. Like, he is a wizard with the football. Now, again, that rush is going to save them. Josh Allen has to be careful tonight. But, again, that defense is matching exactly what theirs is also. And the way I look at this one, I can't say they're back, especially with Davis Mills at quarterback also. It just doesn't make sense to me to say they're back. If CJ was behind center tonight, okay, we having a different conversation, but I just can't do it with it being Davis Mills. And that's just respect to the franchise guy, too.
I don't know. I mean, because question about Buffalo for this game, because they've got injuries piling up, too. Who is the go-to target without Dalton Kincaid? He is out for this game. I think there's a lot of pressure on the Bills' run game.
Mm-hmm.
They are one of the best run offenses in the league, to be fair. Number 2 in rushing efficiency against a Houston defense that's 8th defensively in yards per carry allowed. This is what you sign up for in primetime games of a Josh Allen versus DeMeco Ryans defense kind of matchup. I think it's a great matchup. I think it's a fun matchup. You have a Bills offensive line allowing the 5th lowest pressure rate in the NFL this year against the Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson Jr. combo for the Texans. I am jealous of the Bills' continuity up front because now for a second consecutive year, the Bills have had the same 5 up front for like almost every snap. The Bills this season have had their first 5 play 87.7% of snaps, Ramon. That is the 3rd highest rate in the NFL this year, allowing just a 28.8% pressure rate while blocking for rushers, listen to this, to gain 5.1 yards per carry. 6th most in the NFL. It's a really good run blocking offensive line with
it is.
Left to right, Deion Dawkins, David Edwards, Connor McGovern, Osiris Torrance, and Spencer Brown. When you have 5 guys that just play so much football together, they're bound to get at least decent.
Yeah, no.
And this group is more than just decent because not only are they playing together, they're good and they're playing together. I don't know. I kind of like Houston. I like Houston against the spread. I like Buffalo to win. I think 6 points is a lot at home in a primetime game for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Houston, I do think they've turned a corner. I think they're starting to regress back to the mean of one-score game luck. Going 0-5, going 5-0, over the course of a 17-game season, you're bound to have the ball bounce your way a little bit more in one-score games of the NFL. I mean, they're still top 10 in point differential, Ramon, in the NFL, and they just got over 500 this season because they're blowing out teams when they win. They've just had some really tight one-score losses. It'll be a good game. I'm looking forward to this one.
I am, too. This is actually one later in the season where they start to do this, too. That's what I was going to bring up, too. It's Keon Coleman, I think, is going to be the problem for them, too. I went back to some comments that Steve Smith Sr. said about him. Yeah, it says looking like he's a healthy scratch again for this upcoming week. Steve Smith Jr., and I was super high on probably the personality of Keon Coleman more than anything, but Steve Smith Sr., who is a very opinionated guy, love him.
Yes, he is.
Love him, man. He said he doesn't have the ability to get open. Josh Allen look his way, and he's not there for him. And I expected more out of him. He's a big wide receiver, having the ability to create when given the opportunity. It's shameful for him to have this good of a quarterback. It's too early to call Josh Allen Hall of Fame quarterback. This good,
on his way.
Yeah, he's got the MVP. Should have went to Lamar, but he's got the MVP.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you look at this opportunity that he has, and you got a potential Hall of Famer, Steve Smith Sr., saying this about you, like either crap or get off the pot at this point. And if he's a healthy scratch for him, he's going to get washed out of this league quick at some point. I hate when guys do this, man, at pros. Like everything's in front of you. Go do the thing that you're supposed to.
Wasting premium talent.
And a premium arm and offense.
For sure. Yeah, I don't think he'll be a scratch again tonight. I think it was a 1-week message that I think was sent. And I think he'll be back in there.
They panned to him on the sideline. He looked like he was having a hell of a time talking.
Let's go to the phones. Johnny is in Nashville. What's up, Johnny? Good morning.
Morning, Johnny.
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm on it today, Ramon. I got something for you. I got something on my sleeve.
Come on, man. Do it.
Just hear me out,
okay.
All right? Billy Gonzalez woke up sweating, feeling kind of shifty because he checked the schedule and saw Vols by 50 and looked at his playbook. He said, Lord, this can't be right. Even Google Maps said recalculating, another loss tonight. They're talking big. Their bite ain't gritty. Your O-line looks worse than the swamp committee. Billy's pacing the sidelines, looking deep in prayer, and even God told him, my son Tebow can't fix that mess down there. But the Gator Nation's crying. Whole fan base is misty. The mascot's hiding in the tunnel, and he's looking kind of twitchy. And when the dust clears and the scoreboard looks giddy, because it just watched Tennessee cook them boys. Not by 30, not by 40. Balls by 50. Let's go!
Hey, Zach got to catch up, man.
Zach in Hendersonville, the gauntlet has been thrown down.
Johnny!
I swear, this station has more poets than any other radio station in the world.
And they know it. Yes.
No, I think they know it.
Johnny, go off, man. He hit us with one earlier in the week.
Between Zach in Hendersonville, between Johnny the poet, Mayor Ron. Is it just because this city has so many songwriters? Like, what's the deal?
I'm going to listen to Johnny is what I'm telling you. Johnny, if you ever have a guitar and you strumming it, hit me up, okay?
There's so many lyricists that listen to 104.5 The Zone.
Dang.
Not complaining about it. I mean, it was good.
I mean, the fact that they give us their thoughts and efforts live on the radio, people get shy.
Coming up, there is
you gotta go.
a storm brewing in the college football playoff selection process, a problem the committee is going to have to solve very soon. We'll tell you what it is next.
Genesis Diamonds presents the Holiday Love event, the biggest and final sale of the year. It's this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, where you can enjoy store-wide savings on 20, 30, up to 35% off. That's engagement rings, earrings, pendants, bands, and bracelets, the biggest and final store-wide sale of the year. If you've lived here for a while, you know that this is the event everyone waits for. Acclaimed designers will be here with their entire collections. Even luxury pre-owned Rolex watches are included in this. 0 interest financing is also available. And the staff at Genesis know they can break all the rules during this 3-day, $30 million sale. Get moving on that fall engagement proposal. Fellas, speed it up. Or shop early for Christmas. Or reward yourself with a stunning Rolex watch. Whatever the occasion, though, don't miss this incredible savings event where you get up to 35% off Genesis' amazing everyday low prices store-wide. I'm talking colored gemstone jewelry, the latest designer creations, diamond classics. Get the best price of the year, but it's only for 3 days. It's Friday through Sunday, exclusively at Genesis Diamonds. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
What if you could pull up to $500,000 in cash out of your home and drop your mortgage rate to 4.99% APR? Hey, it's Will Bowling. Right now at Loan Pronto, they've got the lowest rates in 3 years. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can get your cash in as little as 3 days. Pay off all those high-interest credit cards and even skip your next 2 house payments. One client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours, paid off their debt, paid off 2 car loans, and saved $2,100 a month. One call, life changed. There's no wait, no hard credit pull up front. You probably won't need an appraisal, just fast, easy cash from your home's equity. Rates are at a 3-year low, so act now. Call 615-499-5780 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal. See how much cash you can get today. Loan Pronto, A+ rated with the BBB and nearly 2,500 5-star Google reviews. Call 615-499-5780 and see how much cash you can get today. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. Visit NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
8:02, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans were back on the practice field yesterday as they prepare to host the Seahawks this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. First injury report of the week dropped yesterday. Elikai Manor, Daryl Baker Jr., Kendall Brooks, and Xavier Woods all did not practice with injury. Chimere Dike, who left the game this past Sunday against the Texans with a chest contusion, was a full participant in practice yesterday. In other NFL news, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice yesterday, but has not been designated to return from injury reserve just yet, but he's also not ruled out this week. This morning, Bengals head coach Zach Taylor on a local radio show in Cincinnati said he doesn't know if Burrow would play this Sunday. He said, quote, "I'm not there yet." Meanwhile, current starting quarterback Joe Flacco was limited in practice yesterday dealing with a shoulder injury. Tonight, Tennessee basketball is back on the court as they take on Tennessee State in Knoxville with tip-off at 6 p.m. Central. You can hear Vol Network's call right here on 104.5 The Zone starting at tip-off at 6 o'clock. Tonight, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off with Thursday Night Football. The 7-3 Bills take on the 5-5 Texans in Houston. Backup quarterback Davis Mills gets his third consecutive start for the Texans. Kickoff is at 7:15 on Prime Video. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the second half of Friday Junior. Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee and streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV. Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. Quickly approaching 20,000 of you who have subscribed to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. We are not signing you up for annoying emails. We're not going to knock on your door. We're not going to intrude. But we do ask you to subscribe to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel because it's good for us as we approach 20,000. Would love to get there before 2026 starts.
That's all we're asking.
Maybe that's our goal before the Titans hire a new head coach. 20,000 subscribers on 104.5 The Zone TV. A lot of you watch. We're told about 2/3 of you are subscribed who do watch, which means there's a lot of you out there who are tuned in every morning who just aren't subscribing to the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. I ask you simply and respectfully, what are you waiting for?
I mean, seriously, do the right thing.
It helps our families.
That's what Mike Keith says, and he's going to join us in 15 minutes.
You got to listen to Mike Keith in these situations.
Don't disappoint Mike Keith, okay?
That's something you need to get behind.
That's how you pull the heartstrings.
That's how you pull the heartstrings.
The College Football Playoff Committee has a problem, Ramon Foster, and it is a 2-word problem.
What's that?
Comparative pools. Ever heard of comparative pools?
I feel like if neighbors are beefing and they're trying to see who's got the biggest pool.
Yeah, we're not trying to compare which YMCA you go to and who has the better pool for your kids or who's got the better diving board. This is how the College Football Playoff Committee, in their 7-round voting process, ranks teams. Round 1, you rank the top 4 teams who will receive first-round byes. Then you go in groups of 4, Ramon. The committee ranks teams 5 through 8 who will host playoff games. Then they rank teams 9 through 12 who will be road playoff teams. Then you rank teams 13 through 16, 17 through 19, 20 through 22, 23 through 25. Arkansas Athletic Director Hunter Yurachek, college football playoff chair, talked about this on ESPN the other night when speaking about Miami and Notre Dame, comparing losses between those two teams, despite the fact that Miami is one of Notre Dame's losses. Roll the clip.
On the rankings to be in the field, we know they have to win the ACC to get in. How close is Miami and Notre Dame in terms of evaluation within the room?
I think when you look, Reese, at Notre Dame and Miami, we really compare the losses of those two teams. Miami has lost to 2 unranked teams. Notre Dame has lost to 2 teams that are ranked in our top 13. And so we really haven't compared those two teams. They haven't been in similar comparative pools to date. But Miami is creeping up into that range where they will be compared to Notre Dame if something happens above them.
Comparative pools. So, Ramon, come on. Here's the problem that the committee has created. Miami and Notre Dame are not being compared right now. Mm-hmm. They are not in the same group or pool, literally comparative pool of teams that are being compared. But listen to what he said there at the end. Miami is creeping up into that range. So if Miami takes care of business over the final 2 games with wins at Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh, they are not only going to jump maybe a loser of an SEC game over the next couple of weeks who might fall in front of them. If they put themselves in the group of 4 teams with Miami, with Notre Dame, they might also jump Notre Dame. Because then Hunter Yurachek goes on and confirms that, yes, head-to-head is a critical factor. That will activate the quote-unquote head-to-head result. Why are we picking teams like this? Why does it have to be comparing teams in pods of 4 and then, if Miami enters the pod with Notre Dame, then we're going to take into account the fact that these 2 teams played head-to-head and Miami beat Notre Dame. The committee is creating a problem because right now they are telling us Notre Dame is ranked higher than Miami.
Yeah.
But then if things outside of both those 2 teams' control happen, all of a sudden Miami is just going to magically jump ahead of Notre Dame simply because now they're in a group of 4 teams that can be compared to each other. This just does not make sense to me in the slightest.
Watching him that night when he was being asked those questions, he looked nervous as if he didn't understand it himself also. And it seems to me like they're going off of expectation than what's actually in front of them, too. That's the issue I feel like with what the committee has going on is they expect certain teams to do certain stuff, and when it doesn't roll that way or they're trying to justify it, that's when they bring up these pods and these type of situations. It doesn't make sense to me, though. But, again, you mentioned this being a situation in which Miami, last 2 games of the season, Virginia Tech and at Pitt, that statement from him to me says the expectation is for the justification of Miami to be in over Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or Alabama. Alabama got shafted. 6 spots for that loss this past weekend.
I don't know how
didn't
you
make
do
sense
gymnastics to put Notre Dame in front of Alabama. Alabama has the best win in the country this season. How?
Money. The following.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
You don't think that has anything to do with it?
No,
the
I
influence of Notre Dame. We've been having this conversation for years.
What about the influence of Alabama?
Same song and dance?
I mean, it's maybe the 2 biggest national brands in the sport, Alabama and Notre Dame. But both of them have that kind of sway.
The 6-team slide, the 6-slot slide that Alabama got this week is going to be something that comes up in week 12 to me. To where if there will be another loss, I feel like, from somebody, to where they'll have to justify this from the same way they did with Alabama. I don't know how they're going to, but this is where, again, they're saving themselves grace by saying these pods.
What I think they are doing is they are changing what the most important tiebreaker is this year, Ramon. Who have you lost to? That's what they've done. Alabama is being unfairly judged for a week 1 loss to Florida State.
Yeah.
Instead of being judged for who they've beaten over the course of the entire season. There's no amount of gymnastics you can do mentally to justify Notre Dame over Alabama except for that. Notre Dame, according to the committee, has 2 of the best losses in college football this year. Miami and Texas A&M. Alabama is being judged for a loss to what we now know is a very bad Florida State team. There's just a lot of mental gymnastics this committee is doing where they're not applying things consistently. And Vandy Chris brings it up in the chat, and he's right. Oregon got credit from Hunter Yurachek. And again, Hunter Yurachek is basically the spokesman of the committee. It's not necessarily that he believes all these things. It's that he is trotted out there to represent what the conversation was in the room. So I want to be fair to Hunter Yurachek. But Oregon gets credit for a ranked win against Penn State, who's not good anymore. By that same logic, you've got to apply a lot more credit to teams like, again, Alabama for beating bad SEC teams or Miami who beat a bad Florida team and like Vanderbilt who, ranked win over South Carolina. That's not a good South Carolina team. Vanderbilt's at 14 in all of this. It's all about who you've lost to this year. Every year there's a different theme. It's like going to school dance, and there's a different theme every year. This year's theme, Ramon, is who have you lost to? And that is what matters, I think, to this committee more than anything.
What's interesting, though, too, is just how are they judging, and I say this when we're going to get some hate for it, the Big Ten schedule, too. who has Ohio State played? And I know they're good and they hadn't lost. But if you can play in an easier division with the schedule that they have, shouldn't these losses mean more considering what Alabama was up against?
Well, in their case, they haven't lost.
That's what I know they haven't.
Them
but
and
like the
Indiana are
opponents
kind of a
that they
different
faced,
case.
it like if you look at what Ohio State has faced this year, Alabama's played a better schedule. Even through the losses, I feel like are more battle tested. And I'm not minimizing what Ohio State is as a team. I think they're damn good, and we'll see that when they hit the playoffs. But it's not a fair comparison as to the battles that you faced, in my personal opinion.
I think the losses thing is a tiebreaker. I got a comment on YouTube that says that's not it because Vandy's losses are better than Miami's losses without question. Fair.
That was supposed to be a factor this year, too.
But Vandy's best win is who?
Missouri at the time.
With a backup
South
quarterback
Carolina
for most of the second half.
Vandy
is suffering for playing so many backup quarterbacks, in my opinion.
And they knocked a couple of them out.
And Vandy, yes, is not going to get the benefit of the doubt because you're not a national brand. That's not fair. It's the reality of the situation. But at the same time, Vandy's best win is a Missouri team ranked at the bottom of the top 25 that didn't have their starting quarterback for half the game. That's the problem that Vanderbilt has right now. Vandy has 3 ranked wins: South Carolina, LSU, Missouri. There is a team that's not making a bowl game there in South Carolina, who, again, also had backup quarterback play in the second half of that game. LSU, okay, you beat them. They fired their coach. Not the same team as you thought they were when they walked in. And Missouri, who, again, Bo Prabula goes down. Again, this is not my rationale. I think this is what the committee is using. Vanderbilt kind of got unlucky this year. That what looked like a gauntlet of a schedule ended up not being nearly as difficult as you thought it was going to be. And the P4 team that you scheduled that you hoped was going to be a feather in your cap from Virginia Tech ended up also being a team that fired their coach. You just got unlucky. It's the reality of the situation. You've handled your business, but at the end of the day, that's one of the biggest reasons why Vanderbilt's on the outside looking in and needs a lot of help. Again, I've been saying this for weeks, and y'all finally believe me that there are a lot of teams in front of you that you've got to get help from, starting with the 2 in the Big 12, BYU and Utah. I think you need both of those teams to lose and one of the SEC teams in front of you between Oklahoma, Alabama. One of those SEC teams has got to lose as well.
I forget his answer on the SEC championship also. That was asked, but I forget that answer as far as it hurting Alabama or Georgia, whoever plays in it with the loss.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it that an SEC or Big 12 runner-up is not going to get in because they were forced to play an extra game because their season was so good and they lost. I'm just going to have to believe that when I see it. I do not believe this committee is going to penalize a conference championship game loser.
Looking at Vandy's schedule, it was set up for them to have a real shot at this. But now to your point, they need so much help with the losses that they've had of quality losses too. That is hurting them. Auburn is another one of those situations. Fired head coach.
Mm-hmm. You got Kentucky this weekend. Got to handle business. Saturday afternoon on the West End.
And they smacked Virginia Tech at the beginning of the season like they were supposed to.
And they smacked South Carolina, who we thought, again, that was the number 11 team in the country when they played. It's not Vandy's fault. They ended up being terrible. You handled your business, but again, hasn't worked out that way. Saturday night in the Swamp, the Tennessee Volunteers look to end a long 2 decades plus of misery in Gainesville. We preview Tennessee and Florida with Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, next.
It's Ramon Foster for Jewel Roofing and Exteriors, man. I'm here to tell you about them, man. They are a trusted, family-owned Middle Tennessee company that's been serving from Clarksville to Murfreesboro for over 25 years. Here's what they do. They stand out by building relationships and earning your trust through referrals. Never through those high-pressure tactics or door-knocking or storm chasing where you'll drive through your neighborhood and there's 5 different companies with their posters up trying to get you to spend money and file an insurance claim because they feel like they can get on top of your roof and lie to you. Well, I'm here to tell you That's not Jewel Roofing, not even a little bit, man. They want to educate you, tell you about your roof so that you understand how you need to spend money, what you need to look for. And honestly, if you do or do not need your roof replaced, that's the honesty that you get because they're local. And I always love shopping local, man, because you got to see those people that are in our community. For a roofer that you can trust and you can count on, man, and I promise you this, you can call Jewel Roofing and Exteriors. Their number is 615-868-9999, or you can visit their website at jewelroofing.com. That's Jewel Roofing with 2 L's.com.
Put Lee Company on your team and stay ahead of the game with home maintenance, repairs, and more. Hey, it's Will Bowling. For as little as $14 a month, become a Lee Company Plus member and receive 4 annual visits to your home for your heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical systems. For me, this is a must-have in Middle Tennessee, considering how different the seasons are just in a week. We'll go 1 week and get all 4 seasons between overnight, it being in the 20s or 30s to back up in the 60s, 70s. You got to make sure that your heating system, the cool air in your home, it's always working the way that it's supposed to. Even better, you're not just going to get the preventative maintenance from Lee Company, you also get a deal. Lee Company Plus members receive up to 20% off on every visit and enjoy priority service. Learn more online at leecompany.com/plus. Platinum Home Protection starts with a Lee Company Plus membership. Again, online at leecompany.com/plus. That's Lee Company, all you need. Ramon and Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone, continues on this Thursday morning alongside Vol for Life, Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Time for a Gators Week visit with the voice of the Vols as Mike Keith joins us, presented by our friends at Volunteer Traditions and Two Rivers Ford. Mike, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fine. Thank you.
Mike, what is your favorite Tennessee-Florida memory as you and Ramon get set to head down to the Swamp to hopefully create some more good ones this weekend?
Okay, so you want to hear something really wild?
I do.
I was doing a radio show with our friends in Chattanooga at Sport Talk on WGOW, and they asked me, they said, what was your favorite game that you had attended in the series? And I thought about it for a second. I've been to 3 games in the Swamp. I saw them also play Florida in 1976 in Knoxville and 1984 in Knoxville. I have never seen Tennessee beat Florida in person.
Wow.
Because when I was part of the Vol Radio Network and Tennessee won in 1990 and 1992, I was the host of the Scoreboard Show. So I was on Kingston Pike. My favorite game in the series is the 92 game because of the bizarre rain that happened in the second half of that game. And it was so strange because everybody has the picture in their minds and can remember the video of Heath Shuler throwing the pass to the great Mose Phillips, who took it, for a touchdown, tromping through the rain on the artificial surface and looking at what time it was when he reached the end zone. And I mean, it's just a great moment. Mose Phillips, very underrated Vol of all time, in my opinion. But what was fascinating about that is if you remember that game, and both of you, I mean, Will wasn't born and Ramon was 6. So you don't remember it. But it was a deluge at Neyland Stadium. I was at 6711 Kingston Pike at the studios of WIVK hosting the Scoreboard Show. It did not rain there at all.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Probably literally 5 miles away, it did not rain. What? It was right over Neyland Stadium. The cell was. Had the same experience in 1999 when we played at Jacksonville, and the cell just settled over what was then called Alltel Stadium, and it was like a flood on the field. But the whole thing happened, and it was just this bizarre sequence of events, and Tennessee won that game, and it was a great memory and a lot of fun. And everybody who was there that day said it was not rain; it was just liquid sunshine because the ball was such a great day. Liquid sunshine,
Mike. That is also one of my favorite John Ward calls of all time. Of in the downpour. Downpour. When I think of John Ward, Mike, I think of Willie Gault is running all the way to the state capitol, and I think of in the downpour. The first two that I think of.
Well, and what was funny about that is that's when I walked outside. So he scores the touchdown, and we do something. I remember this. We do an update after the score. So we would have a little extra time. So kick the extra point, go to break, come out of the break, and I update, Kentucky against, Eastern Michigan or whoever they were playing that day. Mm-hmm. And so then I finished that, and that's when I walked outside because where we were, there was not a window that was really accessible. And so I walked outside because I wanted to see how much it was raining, there. It wasn't raining at all.
Wow.
Not at all.
That's crazy.
It wasn't sunny or anything. I'm not saying it was like strange, but it was just crazy that it was that close and yet it didn't rain.
Wow.
That's crazy, Mike. Well,
yeah.
You've been a part of some wild rain games with with the Titans also. The longest broadcast, right?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We've seen a few strange rain games. The 99 Jacksonville game too was was one of the most incredible games in that regard because it literally blew into our booth at the old Alltel Stadium, which had just been converted from the Gator Bowl. They had set up the ribbon boards right above where the press box was, and the ribbon boards leaked. And so all of the water blew back into our booth, and we were totally soaked. And all of our papers and everything we had set up, they were totally soaked. We did the whole second half of that game without a roster, without a spot chart, without anything. And we tried to get one out of the press box, and they'd given them all away. They'd given up. We sent somebody down to try to buy a program to get a flip card out of a program and couldn't find anything. So we did that whole second half just flying blind, which was so crazy. And the series was, so crazy. And what was fascinating is that was one of the great Jeff Fisher moments because that was the game at the end, Samari Rolle with the fabulous interception of Mark Brunell deep in Titans territory. It's 20-17. Last play of the game, they snapped the ball to Craig Hentrick, the punter. And there was probably 10 seconds left on the clock. So Craig Hentrick goes running around the end zone. On the play, every single Tennessee player grabs a Jacksonville player. Doesn't try to block him, grabs him. Just grabs, throws him to the ground, hugs him, tackles him. I mean, every flag the official could have thrown
That's right.
was thrown. And Tom Coughlin, he's out there, his face is all red, and he's, the game can't end on a defensive penalty, yelling and screaming. And Craig Hentrick stepped out of the end zone just as the clock hit 0 for the safety. Tennessee still leads 20-19 at that point. And Coughlin's out there yelling. And they had to remind Coughlin that if you don't punt the ball, you're not on defense.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. John Harbaugh did this a couple years back, too, because the game could end on a special teams penalty.
I do remember that.
In that context.
Yeah, as long as as long as there's not a change of possession at that point,
crazy.
It's not a defensive penalty. So, yeah, that was nuts. And I had seen that done before with John Majors. I'd seen him take a safety in situations before, so I was very thankful for my Tennessee background because even though that was only the third professional game I was ever calling, that was one rule that I did know. There were so many I didn't, but that was one rule that I was keenly aware of. Doesn't look like we've got rain in Gainesville this weekend, though. Looks like it may be 78 degrees at kickoff.
Fantastic.
That's fair. It's always been 90 with crazy humidity and those spot showers any other time, Mike.
At 2:30 on CBS,
yeah,
too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mike, when you look at this game, what stands out about the matchup? Two quarterbacks that, when they take care of the football, have put up really good numbers this year, but two quarterbacks who have also, as of late, had some games where they've thrown the ball to the other team. What stands out? Where is this one won or lost, Mike?
I mean, I think it's up front. I think that's what it comes down to is because Florida, for whatever faults that they have, they're still really good up front. They're big on defense, and they obviously have a talented offensive line. You would figure that they want to pound Baugh as much as possible. If I'm Florida, and I've seen Tennessee have some problems with big backs in the run, I think that's probably what I want to test them to see if they can stop. And on the other side, they're going to try to take the run game away from Tennessee and make the balls one-dimensional. So I think that's what this comes down to more than anything else. I think it's a very simple on-paper matchup for how it works best for Florida is to make this a line of scrimmage game and then be able to work off of that with Lagway being able to, take his shots or do whatever he wants. Florida's big. I mean, they've got Hanson, the tight end, who's 6'8", 270 pounds, and their offensive line's big. Their defensive line is very big. I mean, you just understand what you're getting into in this situation is that they have that sort of physicality that they're able to play with. And the teams that have given Tennessee problems have chosen to do that on both sides. And so I would guess that's where Florida goes, and Tennessee's got to match that physicality in order to win.
Mike, I heard this week started a little bit different for Coach Heupel and his staff, and he gave them a little bit of a history lesson of what entailed the rest of this week. What has been his message? What have you seen as far as their response to, hey, not since 2003 and their ability to kind of create history?
Well, and I think he handled it well. We had a question about that on Big Orange Rewind on Sunday night. Hubs and I did. Yeah. And it was like, how do you handle it? Do you put it out there that you haven't won there in 22 years and that you've lost 10 in a row in that building? Or do you say, hey, we don't know anything about that. This is this game. This is now. This is us. And he split the difference. He did both. He talked to them about the series and made them understand the rivalry and what they have a chance to do. And then he also said, hey, what they did in 2009 or 2013, that doesn't matter. That doesn't make any difference to us. That's not us. We're 2025. So I think it was very wise, because I think you do a couple of things there. I think you give this team a little more motivation to go into this game understanding what they can do. Because, here's the thing. If you ask any Tennessee fan at any point over the last 30 years, especially a Tennessee fan under 50, this is their game. The Florida game is your game if you're under 50. Because that's been the series that has been the one that has had the most hype, has meant the most because of divisions, so on and so forth. So if you ask any Tennessee fan, if we go to Gainesville and beat Florida, is that a big win? The answer is yes, it is. Doesn't matter what their record is. And that's what he told this team. To our people, to who we are, this is a big game. This would be a big win. And at the same time, we're not going to sit and emphasize that the whole time. That's not the overall motivation, because our job is to get win number 8 and try to keep this thing rolling and be us. So I think he did a good job with that. I thought it was a very good question from one of the people who was listening or watching Big Orange Rewind. Mm-hmm. And I put it to him. I said, how did you handle it? I said, this was the question we got. And he answered it very directly, which I think he made a good play there. I really do.
What's fascinating about this series, I think Florida has a 10-game lead on it now, Mike, but this is all recent history. Yeah. And that's what's fascinating about this matchup. Like, it wasn't until, I guess, Spurrier and definitely Urban Meyer that Florida became the boogeyman. Mike, for people, I don't want to age you, over 50, did Florida ever bother you?
Well, the series in the 90s, it became the thing. And so if you were, a teenager, or you were just starting to follow Tennessee football in the 90s, late 80s, early 90s, this became the game fast. So Spurrier gets to Florida in 90. And, oh, by the way, Tennessee just has Florida on the regular 6-year rotation in 90 and 91. That was just a fluke. Then in 92, the conference divides into divisions, and Tennessee starts to play Florida every year. Tennessee had a bit of a strange history with Florida that was already weaved in because of Steve Spurrier from Science Hill, Tennessee, from Science Hill High School, Johnson City, Tennessee, doesn't go to Tennessee, chooses to go to Florida, and he likes to rag Tennessee to no end. Doug Dickey was the head coach at Tennessee, successful, leaves for Florida. It's a big deal to Tennessee fans that he did. Oh, by the way, then he comes back as athletic director, and his son leads the team to the Sugar Bowl win and an SEC title in '85. Bob Woodruff's a Tennessee guy who's Florida's head coach. He comes back as AD. Ray Graves is a Tennessee man who's Florida's coach. So there's all this intertwining already. And then from 1990 on, you play them every year. And so, and Florida wins 8 SEC championships between 91 and 2008. They win 3 national championships. All of it kind of put together made it the thing. And I mean, no offense to Georgia or Alabama or Kentucky or Vanderbilt, but if you were of that age, this was your game. And that's what it really is about. And Saturday night is the end of an era, because Tennessee will not see Florida again until 2027 at home and won't go back to the swamp until 2029.
Dang. Wow. Gotta get it, Mike.
It's also going to be crazy if a certain former Tennessee head coach ends up being the next head coach at Florida and continuing that.
Well,
that guy that was there in 2009.
That sort of ties into the whole thing again.
Yeah.
That would, that if Lane Kiffin were to go to Florida, that would obviously be another thing that would add to it. Sure.
Mike, what do you have for the people on the Mike Keith Show today, which everyone should subscribe to the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel to watch?
2:00 today, Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel. Chuck Girolamo, Gene Wojciechowski, Josh Heupel, David Hobbs, and one more really good guest. Golly, I can't think of it off the top of my head. Well, we've got a lot of good guests.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, you do. Always.
2:00 today on the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel. We hope you'll join us, and we really hope you'll subscribe. If you're a ball fan out there, I plead with you, please become a subscriber to the Tennessee Athletics YouTube channel and hit the button on the top. I think it's a bell.
Yes.
Because then you will get notified when all of our good stuff is up throughout the various sports and everything. And most importantly, it helps my family.
And also add to the fact, too, you can also use the Tennessee app to also stream and listen to you do basketball or football or all things involving Vol Sports.
Basketball tonight against Nolan Smith and the Tennessee State Tigers, who are a really interesting team. I think going to play a very different style than anybody who's come into Thompson Bowling Arena, Food City Center at Thompson Bowling Arena. That's going to be fun, and we'll be on the air with that at 5:30, 6 o'clock tip, and so that'll be fun.
Vol_sports has the link on Twitter as well to tune into the Mike Keith Show. Josh Heupel, David Hobbs, Chuck Girolamo, Gene Wojciechowski, and Dane Bradshaw, Mike, the other guest on the show.
I'm so sorry to Dane.
We won't tell
Dane. Yeah, he was great.
Good stuff.
Was he really?
He really was. He was. I mean, he was honestly of all of our guests. Don't tell the other four he was the best.
Oh, okay. All right.
You know, he bragged on you too the other night.
Yeah, he did on the TV broadcast.
Well, it was very nice. It was very kind of him. He was really talking about Lofton. everybody wants to talk about Lofton, which is great.
Yeah.
It's, having Chris Lofton on our broadcast is a lot of fun. John Wilkerson and I are enjoying him, and it's about to get exciting. I think it starts tonight because I think TSU, in watching them, is the most interesting physical challenge Tennessee's had yet. Because they can go up and down, and I think they've got some athletes. A couple of these games, the teams, nice basketball teams, but just haven't had the overall athletes. TSU has some athletes. I'm very interested to see this one tonight.
Good stuff with voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, as always, presented by Two Rivers Ford and Volunteer Traditions. Tennessee TSU tonight. Mike Keith Show at 2. Tennessee and Florida. Mike Keith is a busy man, makes time for us each and every Thursday here in season. Mike, thank you as always, and have a good call.
Thanks, Mike.
All right. There he is.
Mike, just leave us. Didn't even say bye.
That's all right. Look, I saw, if you don't follow Mike on Instagram, by the way, as well, at TENN Voice there too, he did a day in the life Instagram post from him where it starts with a sticky note of all the things he's got to do in a day. And I had to go drink a Coke and get some caffeine out of it because it made me tired.
He's a machine.
It made me tired to see how many things were on the to-do list. I don't know when he has the time to prep and to put notes together, because you spend so much time talking about the games that when do you prepare for the games?
He'll let you know he's wired a certain way. Like his brain functions. Like remember numbers and names.
Impressive.
That he said they come easy to him. Me, I'm just like, who are you again?
It's really impressive.
It's impressive.
That story about the Jacksonville game in '99, doing the game without notes because they all had water on them. That's wild.
I'd be lost.
That is unbelievable and super cool and not surprising at all, of course, either. 615-737-1045 is our number. I haven't had a chance to take a ton of phone calls yet. We can catch up on that when we come back. And headlines to wrap up hour 3 next.
It's Ramon Foster for Bronze Motorsports. Man, it's getting close to Christmas. You can surprise the wife with some new wheels, tires, system. You can throw a supercharger in there if you want to. Also, that's something I do. But it is Bronze, one of the best companies around, man, when it comes to transforming your ride and making a statement, making just the upgrades to it at all time. Immersive audio experiences, man, head-turning style. If you're seeing more times than not a vehicle on the road that's customized, it's usually coming from Bronze Motorsports. Man, that's because they're trustworthy. They do great work, and they are also the undisputed leader in Jeep and Bronco customizations, man. They can give whatever vehicle you want an aggressive off-road appearance if you want, or performance that has made Bronze Motorsports the undisputed leader in all types of upgrades. They offer wheel and tire packages, lift kits, lighting kits, winches, interior and audio customizations, graphics, and a combination of everything listed from mild to wild for your on-road or off-road experience, man. Myself, I personally go to Brian, man, and he does this for me. I give him an idea, and he just sets it out for me. They believe in dream, design, build. That's what they want to do for you, man, and they're very good at it, too, man. They're located at 789 West Main Street in Hendersonville, Tennessee. You won't find a better crew out there that's more personable and care about how you want your vehicle to look. You can visit their website at bronzemotorsports.com or simply check out the socials at Bronze Motorsports. Whatever you do, make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up hour 3 on Thursdays, Ramon and Will. We've got Thursday 3 picks coming up for you in a half hour. Your phone calls at 615-737-1045. Comments in the F&M Bank chat, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. For the 42nd time since 1999, the Cleveland Browns will have a new starting quarterback this weekend.
That's not.
His name is Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
If Bailey Zappi is not getting first-team reps this week, Ramon, it is malpractice by Kevin Stefanski. You've got to have the backup ready. Did I do that right?
You did it right.
Did I yell right about that?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that's just raw. You know what? Kevin Stefanski, I don't think he wants Bailey Zappi to succeed if he doesn't get first-team reps this week since he's the backup.
This is ridiculous.
That's how we're applying the idiotic logic of the way people talk about Shedeur Sanders. Surely, Ramon, everyone's going to react very calmly and rationally to whatever Shedeur does this weekend, right?
You know you lying on that one. There's a lot of pressure on Shedeur this weekend. The legend of what he is as a player. Now, whether he succeeds or doesn't, who they got this weekend? They have, I think, a good opponent,
Raiders.
too. Oh, the Raiders. They can win this game. And
yeah, for sure.
The thing that has to be answered, though, is how they win this game. If Shedeur throwing for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, you got something. Cleveland has to at least give it more eyes when they look down to what he's done, considering the opponent or whatever else that he's up against this week. And also on Shedeur, I saw something that he's done since college that he has to fix, and I mean ASAP. You can escape 1 sack in the NFL. You can't escape 2. He's got to get rid of the ball. He's got to see it through. Feel like the same conversation we have about Cam Ward here. You can't, every meal isn't a feast. Sometimes you just got to snack. Dump it off. Do what you're supposed to. But it's going to be loud. It's probably a sold-out game wherever they're playing at. I'm not sure if it's in Cleveland.
Vegas.
It's in Vegas. It's going to be a big crowd rooting for Shedeur on right there. He's got a week of prep. That's all his game plan. And the execution of it falls on how his team is going to support him. Again, Shedeur is still a rookie quarterback. There's that side of it, too. How are they going to craft this offense for him to be able to work up and down the field if he has to? As Coach Mack told us earlier, if the score gets lopsided in favor of Vegas, that's a lot of passing for Shedeur, and that's a lot of a beating, too. He took one last weekend in a small sample size.
And you know that Max Crosby is going to be...
He can't wait.
Ready to steal the spotlight.
He can't wait. Yes. Max Crosby in a spotlight?
That's what I'm saying.
Heck yes. He can't wait to sack and throw his arms out wide, and his I guess, known celebration that he has right now. I feel bad for the teams having to surround themselves with this type of noise, though, too. And that's almost on any team.
You know what the total is in this game?
35.
It's 36 and a half.
36 and a half? I guess on that one.
It's going to be a defensive battle.
It's like watching Iowa. Watching these two teams.
Cleveland's not good right now.
No. I wonder what the over-under for Myles Garrett sacks is. He's had 10 in the last 3 games.
They're mad at
against that Raiders line. Oof.
He didn't get Defensive Player of the Week last week.
Put it at
either.
3.
I might take under 26 and a half.
You might as well.
Not
go
just
ahead and get some
36
money.
and a half.
You might as well get some money on this one, Will.
It's going to be interesting. I think that
interesting. That's
people
it.
are but people are surprised that a 5th round pick was supposed to kind of have like a redshirt year. Like the league decided and spoke very clearly about what it thought Shedeur Sanders was in the draft process. And I think not enough people that talk about this league and about this sport, Ramon, have rewired their brain or adjusted their perspective on Shedeur based on where he was picked and are still considering him in the same realm as Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. He's not that. We may have thought he was through a lot of the pre-draft process. Again, the struggle of doing draft radio and draft analysis, unless you were in the top 1% that do that are talking to people off the record like general managers and scouts and decision makers, even still then, those people don't know the truth until the draft happens because we are trying to fully analyze something that we don't have all the facts on. We're not in the meeting rooms. We're not seeing these guys on the whiteboard drawing up plays and concepts and seeing the way they interact with general managers and scouts and coaches and personnel. Clearly, based on all of that analysis, all 32 teams spoke loud and clear about what Shedeur Sanders was, a project in the National Football League. He may still be success. I wish him all the best. I'm not rooting against the guy. But if he goes out there and looks awful against the Las Vegas Raiders, it can't be Shedeur the bust, Shedeur the failure, Shedeur the... He is a 5th-round pick starting as a rookie in the National Football League. We've got to have proper context and expectations for that, especially, by the way, when you're playing on the road against Max Crosby.
And that crowd gets loud out at Vegas, too.
Well...
It does. It's going to be, their crowd always is into the game. And again,
for which team?
As polarizing as Shedeur is, there's going to be some people that want to see him get sacked by Max Crosby also. It's that part.
It is going to be a raucous crowd, I think, in both directions, of people cheering for and against Shedeur Sanders.
Shedeur.
Coming up, 4th and final hour of the show, Cam Ward needs to continue one important trend from Houston in Week 11 to Seattle in Week 12. We'll tell you what that is next.
Work. It's what we do. Part of who we are. There is joy in work. And no matter what size your business is, the dedicated commercial team at Two Rivers Ford will find the work trucks and vans that keep your business moving. And Two Rivers is the only dealer that offers a 90-day free fleet management program that can help you save money on every single mile. The Commercial Vehicle Center at Two Rivers Ford. We work for you.
9:01, good morning, live from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Justin Hawkins. The Titans are back on the practice field today as they prepare for the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday at Nissan Stadium. Head coach Mike McCoy will update the injury report later today. Chimere Dike, who left the game early this past Sunday with a chest contusion, was a full participant in practice yesterday. In other NFL news, Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow was a full participant in practice yesterday, his first time doing so, but he's not been designated to return from injured reserve yet. But he also has not been ruled out this week. This morning, Bengals head coach Zach Taylor on a local radio show in Cincinnati said he doesn't know if Burrow would play this Sunday or not. He said, quote, "I'm not there yet." Meanwhile, current starting quarterback Joe Flacco was limited yesterday in practice as he's dealing with a shoulder injury. Tonight, Tennessee basketball is back on the court as they take on TSU in Knoxville with tip-off at 6 p.m. Central. You can hear Vol Network's call right here on 104.5 The Zone starting at 6 o'clock right at tip-off. Tonight, Week 12 of the NFL season kicks off with Thursday Night Football. The 7-3 Bills take on the 5-5 Houston Texans. In Houston, backup quarterback Davis Mills gets the start yet again for the Texans. Kickoff at 7:15 on Prime Video. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee, into the fourth and final hour on your Thursday morning commutes. Whether you are commuting from one location to an office, whether your commute is a walk to your home office or to the living room, we're glad you decided to make it with us. You stream us live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. We've had a couple of you comment on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel say, "Thank you guys for reminding me. I just subscribed." We appreciate all of you.
What are we talking about?
Who have hit the subscribe button on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel. We have the same ask on the Zone Podcast Network. Apple Podcasts and Spotify, looking to grow our audience there. If you missed Voice of the Vols, Mike Keith, or Coach Mack earlier in the morning, or if you are having to miss the Thursday 3 coming up in 15 minutes, we are disappointed in you, but we will forgive you. So you head to the 104.5 The Zone Podcast Network. Get every segment, every interview, every single morning. Ramon, last week against the Houston Texans, Cam Ward recorded an average time to throw of 2.6 seconds against the Texans. Fastest of his career. Through the first 10 weeks of the season, Cam was averaging 2.97 seconds for the time he received the snap to the time that he was getting the ball out of his hand. That was the fifth longest time in the NFL. On those quick throws in Week 11, Cam Ward was 15 of 21 for 113 and a touchdown. As a result, he was pressured on only 25% of his dropbacks, the second lowest rate he has faced this season. How important is it, Ramon, for him to build on this and not let that just be a, hey, Houston's really good at getting after the quarterback, let's get the ball out quickly, but more so be a, hey, this is the way we've got to play quarterback just for the foreseeable future moving forward?
It has to be it. This is the path. This is the way for him, and I thought it should have been the way for him all year long when it comes down to his ability to play the football. As much as we talked about how quick his release is and how much whip his football has on it also, why wouldn't you specialize in that department? The other part of it is, too, if that's the case when you're getting the football out that fast. I said football like I was talking about soccer there for a second. What am I?
Welcome.
Coach O. But what I'm getting at is this. That's all good. That's fine. If you're going to dink and dunk it, too, I do, and I think most of us want to see, and they did it once, finish the drive. Finish 2 drives, then finish the next one with a field goal if you have to also. They had a 95-yarder, right, drive this past weekend. But being able to do that for more than one series where it doesn't seem like it's scripted or a team is playing soft off you or penalties help assist you in those moments right there. One, it's staying on sides. You're at home again. Jeffrey Simmons told us all. You shouldn't be jumping off sides at home, although I've done that from time to time in my career. It happens, but 4 or 5 of them in a game can't allow that to be the case. getting the ball out of Cam's hand has got to be crucial. And also considering the wide receiver that he's playing with this week, also in the tight ends and running backs, et cetera, it's not elite, respectfully, to those guys. We can all look at this roster and this wide receiver and corner and say, yes, this is good because you're NFL players, but this isn't an outfit like other teams have. Those guys got to catch it. Those guys got to have some run after catch also that's involved in this. If Cam can place the ball right, a.k.a. Mason Kinsey misplaced ball, whoever's at fault, catch the ball, score, or at least getting in scoring situations. I also charge this to him as far as getting the football out quickly. This is something we've talked about, and I'm sure it's something he's aware of too. If the ball's coming out quick, be aware of where you're releasing it. What is Cam, 6'2"? Like, the batting of the football at the line of scrimmage, I feel like something that's going to be a little bit of a reputation. Now, each team capitalizes on that type of stuff. I feel like even more so when J.J. Watt made it a thing with the Watt swat. But it's become a trend, and it's kind of – this team is too fragile offensively to allow that to kill a play.
Sure. Yeah, they're not getting enough separation to make up for it.
Yeah.
You do have those things happen. It's the arm slot. It's even not just how tall Cam is, it's where the football is coming out in relation to his arm angle.
Agree.
And how high up the release point is or how low it is, like a submarine pitcher or an over-the-top pitcher. I think there is a different kind of challenge in stepping up into the pocket and stepping away from pressure against the Seattle Seahawks. Mike McCoy spoke about this yesterday. He was asked, like, what does Seattle do so well to get pressure on their quarterbacks they play against while blitzing so little? And Mike McCoy said, good players. Not groundbreaking, but it is factual that Seattle has good players that allow them to play coverage on the back end and not have to send extra guys to get home, especially through the middle. The thing about Houston, they have elite edge rushers. They are a little bit lighter up the middle in giving you rush lanes to step up in the pocket and run out of. The Seattle Seahawks have built a defense similar to the kind of mold I think the Titans value. Be bigger and more disruptive in the middle of the pocket to where you are forcing quarterbacks to step out of the pocket into your edge rushers. In the same way that Tavondre Sweat and Jeffrey Simmons anchor the Titans pass rush up the middle, Uchenna Nwosu and Leonard Williams do similar types of things for the Seattle Seahawks. And Leonard Williams really being the headliner of all of this. Nwosu has 5.5 sacks this season, 5 from Leonard Williams, 4th highest pressure rate in the NFL at 39.9%, despite blitzing on just 20.9%, which is second lowest in the NFL. Cam converted 2 third downs into first downs by scrambling against Houston. I think he's going to have a tougher time doing that this weekend, Ramon, because Seattle will not give him the same rush lanes to step up and escape out of the pocket the way Houston did. They don't get as vertical. They get vertical in the interior, forcing you to run out of the back of the pocket, which unfortunately has been a struggle for Cam Ward. Bad things are happening, unfortunately, when Cam is running out of the back of the pocket, with the exception of his first career touchdown pass against the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, no doubt. And that play is a once every 6 games type of scenario.
If that.
If that, yeah. It's going to be unique, too, because their linebacker core for Seattle is good, too. They are downhill. They're quick.
Including Ernest Jones.
I ain't want to bring him up, but I'm glad.
I'll do it. It's okay.
But he's playing really good, though. And he's got a knack for the football. And when you got guys up front like Leonard Williams and others, that is, what's the rookie from Texas? Byron Murphy. Byron Murphy. Quick, upfield. The interior, here's what I will say. I'm more worried about Kevin Zeitler this week against Byron Murphy.
It's
Byron Murphy, I think, too.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's Byron Murphy. I'm worried about Zeitler and Murphy because Byron Murphy is a penetrating upfield spin move type of defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman that can create chaos for him, too. Zeitler's got to be good. And to your point about Cam not getting flushed out over the middle and having the edge guys just kind of swarm him up, that becomes very problematic. Leonard Williams, having seen him a time or two in my career and understanding what it is, he's a long arm. He reminds me of DeForest. I was about to mess up that name. DeForest Buckner.
I see what you're mixed up the B and the F.
Yes, I was.
Got yourself.
Dang.
DeForest Buckner. Just imagine if you flipped you get it.
Yeah. He's an older version.
Yes.
Of DeForest Buckner, long arm guy that's gonna push you back and get his arms up and stuff like that.
And Uchenna Nwosu is the outside linebacker who has benefited from a lot of that interior pressure, and he has had 5.5 sacks this season because the interior pressure up the middle is pushing quarterbacks into him on the edge. Nwosu, the 8-year player who was a second-round pick originally of the Chargers back in 2018. This is a big test for Peter Skoronski, to be honest with you, Ramon.
Is, man.
And for how good Peter has been this season, a lot of people smarter than me, yourself included, have floated his name in Pro Bowl discussions and All-Pro discussions. This is what makes you an All-Pro guard, is the ability to quiet a dude at the interior defensive line position. Now, if Leonard Williams has a sack in this game, that doesn't necessarily mean it's on Peter Skoronski. But dealing with a problem like Williams, a problem like Murphy, being as young as he is and as good as he is, that is the next step in Peter's career. Not just having success any given Sunday, but can you do it against stars lining on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And talking about that side on the outside too, Will, what's going to be super unique too with this wide receiver group that they have now, they have the element of surprise this upcoming weekend. The Titans, I feel like, wide receivers. Nobody knows if Restrepo is going to be up. So what kind of player are you getting? There's no tape on him professionally, right? What is this short what is this open field like? You look at everybody else that the Titans have this upcoming weekend, but here's the other part. Witherspoon is pretty good.
Devon Witherspoon, corner for the Seattle Seahawks.
Tariq Woolen is a good defensive back.
Like Coach Mack said earlier this morning, they've got the kinds of defensive backs that can line up as run stoppers or pass stoppers. They're not matching personnel. They match tendencies.
Yes.
So if you're a 1st and 10 pass team, but you line up with 2 or 3 tight ends, they're going to defend you like they know you're going to pass.
Absolutely.
Which is becoming, I think, more of a thing in the NFL this year, Ramon.
And then Tariq Woolen, 6'4".
It's long.
Okay.
Nick Emanwari, the rookie safety out of South Carolina, is a long, lanky dude.
And like Devon Witherspoon, to your point, he is a premier guy, and he's played that way this year too. So I want to see if, given the opportunity this upcoming weekend, does Xavier Restrepo cook? And it ain't just about him, right? It's Chimere Dike. What's going to happen to tight ends in these situations also? Because they're good front to back defensively.
Yeah, that's the thing they do is they'll, in situations where you would typically play in your base defense or in a nickel set based off of what the offensive personnel looks like, they don't care. Yeah. They are not matching personnel. They're matching tendency. And Mac laid that out well with us earlier this morning, that is becoming more of a trend in the league. Why should I put bigger bodies on the field to match up with your big bodies if I know that you're trying to force me to do that? That way you can pass. Cat and mouse game between offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators, and certainly something that Clint Kubiak will do as well to the Titans as much as they play with that big personnel. Cam Ward was asked about chemistry with newer faces at wide receiver yesterday, including a new face in Titans colors who is not much of a new face to him in Xavier Restrepo. I think you're going to see a debut this upcoming weekend.
I think it leans that way.
I mean, there's no one else who can who can play the position. It's simple math, right? You want to have the same amount of receiver options. You just lost 2. And Aya Manor and Ridley for this weekend. The next 2 on the list are James Prochet and Xavier Restrepo.
It's going to be fascinating if Cam goes with this tendencies and familiarity more than actually who's open.
That is a great point. Great point. Don't go with the comfort of Restrepo just because you played with him if Restrepo is covered. Like, Cam's job is still on a per-play basis to go in the order of operations that the coaches are giving him, not, hey, I know Restrepo is going to come through for me. Let's give him a shot. Well, Restrepo might be the third option. Like, the Titans are not in a position to be drawing up plays for Xavier Restrepo. If Chimere Dike comes out of that injury that he suffered last weekend and feels good today after practicing in full yesterday, Chimere Dike is probably kind of your go-to guy in this game.
He's going to
without Calvin Ridley and without Elikiah Manor.
All I know is that stadium needs to be filled up with the Restrepo fans this upcoming weekend.
It will be.
And it's a very easy ticket to get to.
Thursday, 3 picks against the spread for your football weekend are next. Ramona Will, fueled by Scooters Coffee on 104.5 The Zone. Halfway home through hour number 4. Final 30 minutes of the show for Ramon Foster this morning. You are out headed to the swamp this time tomorrow.
Yeah, man. Nowhere to really fly into Gainesville other than a private jet.
What? That's how you're getting there?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, okay. Well, you made it sound like you were on the private jet.
I kind of want to make it sound that way so I can get Wheels Up to sponsor me.
I'm sorry I called you out.
No, you didn't call me out. But my point is, we got to fly into Jacksonville.
Yeah, that's how I've done it before, too.
Drive down. How far is that drive to Jacksonville? I never knew that one. It's my first time.
I think it's like an hour and a half.
Is it?
If I'm not mistaken, I've done it. Like, usually when we've gone, we will stay by the Jacksonville airport.
Okay.
That way you go ahead and do the drive out of Gainesville that night.
Yep.
And then you can be right next to the airport and do like an early morning flight back here.
Okay.
Is how I've done it in the past. But yeah, I think it's like 70 miles, 60 miles maybe.
Okay, not a bad. Florida roads are so straight and flat also.
So flat.
The only thing is it becomes a boring drive. Every time I've driven on Florida highways, it's just like, okay.
Yes. We went 2 years ago when we went to the Citrus Bowl. My dad and I drove from Destin, Florida, where I'll be next week. Where Brentwood and really just Nashville go to vacation. Where the SEC goes to vacation, not just Nashville. We drove from Destin to Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most boring drives I have ever done. And it's like long. It's like 6 hours.
That's flat.
Yeah.
Like,
Florida is a long state.
Yes, it is.
Very long state.
You don't have to worry about potholes and stuff like that, really, but just like the
that's just in Louisiana.
repetitiveness staring is so boring. But we got to drive, and since it's a night game, we're actually going to leave the stadium and just head straight to the airport. So if you see me in zombie mode Monday morning, just mind your business, okay?
When's your flight back?
6 o'clock the next morning, and we're staying close to the team in Gainesville. So after the game will end, college broadcast, close to 12?
Yeah, you start at 7:45 kickoff Eastern time.
Post-game interviews, packing up, and then we're going to head to Jacksonville.
That's a late night. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah, it is the right way to do it. Ain't no way
That's the way I've always done it.
Waking up at 2 o'clock just to drive and go to the airport in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Man, you got the people going. We got the people going this morning talking about this Restrepo thing before we go to it. This Kinsey, Restrepo, and everybody else wide receiver thing is going to be fascinating.
Commenter on YouTube says, if I see Mason Kinsey on the field and not Restrepo, I'm going to lose my bleep.
Lose it.
I would just... I think that's the expectation. Like, they've been consistent, Ramon, through training camp that there was a pretty clear pecking order.
Yeah.
Of the practice squad wide receivers, it's gone Kinsey / Prochet, Restrepo. Like, since those guys made the team, in the order of who's been elevated and who's been asked to do things, like, it's just kind of the way it's been. Like, there's no guarantee if Xavier Restrepo is on the sideline with an 87 jersey and a helmet on Sunday that he's going to play more than 5 to 10 snaps. I don't know what their plan is. I'm not going to pretend to have the confidential plan. Like, it seems like a foregone conclusion he's going to be up. There is no guarantee at all he's going to play. There was no guarantee Kinsey was going to play last week until half the receiver room got hurt.
I got to wait for them to prove that they're going to lose it. If you that real, break your phone. Do it. I want to see you lose it that way, so you can't tweet us anymore about losing it.
On YouTube says, Kinsey belongs on the practice squad. He's been there forever. In Will's own words, the NFL has told us what he is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they've also told us what Xavier Restrepo is. An undrafted wide receiver who's on the practice squad and has not been claimed by any of the other 31 teams. I am rooting for Xavier Restrepo. I want the guy to be successful. I think there's something there. I think he has something to give this team, especially on these third and mediums where they're struggling.
Yep.
I want to see him on the field, too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not cheering against the guy. I'm not trying to talk down to you as fans. I'm just, again, expectations. What are you asking Xavier Restrepo to do? I'd like to ask him to play third and medium, Ramon.
Right.
But again, there is a limitation, I think, there with his athletic ability. How many vertical routes are you taking away by asking Restrepo to run them? Because Prochet and Kinsey have a different skill set. It's okay.
Let's win them some money instead.
Let's do it.
Let's win them some
We
money.
went 8-1 as a show last week on our 9 Thursday 3 picks. If you want U.S. currency, American dollars,
Come on, dog.
dollar bills, y'all. then listen up. Turn up the radio just a little bit. Thursday, 3. Last week, Justin was 3-0. I was 3-0. Ramon was 2-1. Ramon and Justin are both 21-15.
Yeah, buddy.
I am now up to 17-19. I'm getting there.
Louisville wrecked me, man.
They sure did. Yeah, you could thank your brother for that one. Talked you into it.
Could be my picks.
Your rationale was that Jeff Brom is a good big game coach who beats the really good teams. The problem is Clemson's not a really good team.
That's true.
Your rationale was correct. It just
and
was
that's
not,
where you faulted.
It was not correctly applied to that football game.
You're 100%
because Clemson
correct.
stinks.
Yep.
Justin, lead us off, please.
Hawks lost.
Yeah, do it. All right, we're going Baylor at Arizona. Arizona's been streaking the last few weeks. Baylor has not. It looks like Baylor's run defense has really cashed it in for the year. They've allowed between their last, 3 out of the 4 games, it was UCF, Cincinnati, TSU, and Utah was their last 4 games. They won one of those games. It was UCF. And out of Utah, Cincinnati, TCU, they allowed 280 rushing yards per game, over 300 yards against Utah last week. I'm comfortably taking Arizona with the -7 is what I think their spread is, unless it's changed this morning.
That is correct. Plus our -7.
Yeah. So I'll take them at home, where their only loss at home in Arizona was to a good BYU team, but it was a really close one.
I like it.
Gotcha.
My first pick will be at the home of one James Franklin. Miami is favored by 17.5 points at Virginia Tech. The Miami Hurricanes are in style point mode right now. They are in the market for not only winning, but winning convincingly. When Miami has won this year, they have blown everyone out, not named Notre Dame. And I know the Florida State score looked close late. Florida State had some garbage time scores that made that game look a lot closer than it really was. Projected margin from S&P Plus of 23 points is what the spread should be according to analytics. Miami is getting 17.5 in this game. Give me Miami -17.5 after they watch the most overrated, overhyped tradition in college football, Enter Sandman. They will take care of business in Blacksburg.
You don't think that Virginia Tech's going to get the head coach bump?
Nope, because he doesn't coach yet.
Nope.
But they're playing for their lives here. Who's going to get a job next year?
Are these guys on the team next year?
Yeah.
Why?
See. Why not?
Because there's a new head coach and Penn State's about to join Virginia Tech. And a bunch of other guys are about to come. I don't think it's that simple anymore.
No.
Of proving for their new head coach. A lot of these guys are going to leave. Maybe go with Brent Pry, wherever he goes. Ramon, your first pick, please.
I'm going to jump off the plank early, man. Tonight.
Picking the Pirates?
No. The fighting Robert Walsh's?
Yeah.
No. Tonight, Colts, Kansas City. At Kansas City, that's a hard pick, I feel like, because it's tough playing there. Kansas City's been teetering. Carolina's got a better record than them right now, and I know they've played better opponents. But I actually like the Colts and what their team is to combat them. I got Colts plus 3.5 just on the basis that they can match what Kansas City does. I like this one. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't think we will be shocked if we're having a Monday morning, Tuesday morning conversation about is the reign of Kansas City Chiefs over with.
Heck, we had that conversation Tuesday.
Imagine if they lose this
do it
one
again
on prime time. On prime.
That's a noon game on Sunday. Colts and Chiefs.
Sure.
Positive. Tonight's Texans-Bills.
I was looking at Texans-Bills time. I saw the Paramount and thought it was prime. That's on me.
That's okay.
But I'm taking them either way, though.
All right. Colts plus 3.5. I thought about that one.
It's a tough one.
It is tough because, again, we talk about a lot in picking against spreads, the power of desperation. Colts are not nearly as desperate as the Chiefs right now. Chiefs have got to have this one. But I think the Colts are the better team.
But they're so sporadic as an offense right now.
Yeah, right.
They have nothing like other than Patrick being a wizard, there's nothing I can say that the Chiefs are doing good.
You know what's funny to me is that the way it works in gambling in the NFL is that when you are the home team, you get 3 points for home field advantage.
Yep.
Chiefs are favored by 3.5.
So 6
Vegas views I mean Vegas views the Chiefs as a half-point better in terms of power ratings than the Colts. Think about that. The 500 Kansas City Chiefs in the Vegas world are still better than the Colts by a half point. Interesting to me.
It's a wild time.
Very interesting to me. Interesting that the Colts aren't the better team in terms of that number. I think the desperation gives the Chiefs a little bit more of a benefit of the doubt there from Vegas. If I had to pick it, I'd go Chiefs. Guys, I think I just have to have it. Justin, your second pick.
Speaking of have to have it in desperation mode, blood in the water pick here. I'm going to go Tennessee finally getting that win in Gainesville. -4 is the spread. I think so. That Bill Connolly sheet that you've been bragging about that he puts out every Monday
that I went 3-0 on last week. Yes.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Dude. So he's got Tennessee winning by 10.
I know.
So I like to pick. What it's going to come down to is the battle of the trenches. How does Tennessee stack up, and how are they going to keep from not turning over the ball? The only quarterback in the SEC that's not turned the ball over as far as interceptions goes more than Joey Aguilar is DJ Lagway.
Yeah.
And it's going to prove pivotal. We'll see how the Tennessee rushing attack can come up. We'll see.
I hope you're right. I've been down this road before. I've been down this road before.
See, I said nothing.
I said, yeah, I know. 2 years ago, we both did this. On the Thursday 3, we both picked Tennessee to cover in the Swamp. And as I was leaving out there being yelled at by spoiled Florida students that ride mopeds to class, I hung my head in frustration and told myself, never again.
I ain't touching it.
Never. No, not with a 1,000-foot pole.
That's where my 3 out of 10 comes from.
I'm not touching a Tennessee number, period, because how mistake-prone this Tennessee team has become this season, how they just kind of find ways to play really close games by turning the ball over, by busting coverages, by having penalties. I just think Tennessee's a really hard team to predict right now. It is a hard team to put your finger on. I know, but
Hawk, you ain't lived this life.
No, you're new in this world, and it is
first time, huh?
Yeah, I literally feel like that meme
cool,
of the guy standing on the plank with the noose around his neck, going, "First time."
Yeah.
No, baby, you're right.
We'll talk about it on Monday.
You can look at it unemotionally, and I envy that. Nebraska is going to Happy Valley to take on Penn State over Nation. 29-degree game. I don't care. 30-23 is the projected score from S&P Plus. That's 53 points. The over-under is 43.5. Total has gone over in 7 of Nebraska's last 9 games. 6 of the last 8 times Penn State has played, the over has hit. A little bit of momentum right now for the Nittany Lions, starting to run the ball a little bit, starting to put some points together. I like the offenses to find success in the cold weather. I love what the analytics tell me on this one. Give me Nebraska at Penn State over 43.5 via DraftKings Sportsbook.
I'm here for it. Let me get is it on me?
Yeah.
Let me get my hateration out the way before they talk bad about me at the end of the show. Vandy, Kentucky.
I knew this was coming.
I said it all week. I'm taking the points, plus 9.5 Kentucky. I look at that offense, how efficient it is. I think if the Tennessee Titans want to take a tip, look at how Kentucky's getting the ball out of Cutter Boley's hand.
Fair.
They will blitz Diego Pavia. They will try to get after him. That is a physical team that Kentucky has. They're fighting. If they beat Florida with a similar type of quarterback that they have, there's a game plan they've at least executed. Now, how does Vandy come out of this bye, handle the success,
right,
and honestly keep their goals the main thing also? But I'm taking plus 9.5. Give me that one on Kentucky.
Very narrow pathway for Kentucky to pull off this upset. They have to get off to a good start. I don't trust Cutter Boley against that Vandy defensive front to pick them apart in the same way that Texas did when that score got separated. I just think that Kentucky is going to have a difficult time with one of the worst third down defenses of the SEC against Vanderbilt's offense, which is one of the best third down offenses in the SEC. I think if this score gets separated and Vandy can extend some drives and go on some 5, 6, 7-minute drives, you force Kentucky to have to play from behind. I don't think it goes very well for Kentucky. If that happens, it's going to take a couple turnovers. It's going to take the similar style of game into how Kentucky upset both Auburn and Florida. Big plays on defense, turnovers. You've got to hope that Diego Pavia is just doing too much as he has done at times, and is mistake prone, and you got to capitalize on those mistakes if you get them. But
I see somebody say those 3 straight wins are against teams with no head coaches and an FCS team. Momentum is a real thing too. It's the same way Diego Pavia gets going too. Vandy Chris, I'm
winning
not dissing
at
y'all
Auburn
by saying
at
that.
night is hard to do. I don't care who the head coach is.
I'm saying 9.5 is a bit much. If you beat
number.
them by 7, then I win. Is what I'm saying. I'm not doing money line.
You're not saying they're going to pull off the upset.
No, I'm not saying upset. This ain't
Just
a
a big
money
number.
line pick. This is a big number.
I do think that Kentucky's style of passing the ball does magnify Vandy's weakness. If you can get the ball out in space, Vandy is prone to miss some tackles, take some bad angles, and let you break a big one.
That's all.
That's what it's going to take for Kentucky. Justin, your third and final pick, please.
Patriots at Bengals. Patriots -6.5. This Patriots offense is just wheeling and dealing. Travion Henderson I think he's got 5 touchdowns in the last 2 games combined between rushing and receiving. The Bengals missing Jamar Chase with his suspension. They're missing, or it looks like they'll be missing Trey Hendrickson. This defense for Bengals are just trash.
It's so bad.
It is so bad.
It is so bad. I saw this week our friend Aaron Schatz put out there that the Bengals have the worst defense in the history of DVOA. It's just a fancy analytic for how good your defense is. I also have a pick in this game. I'm going with the over 50.5 in Bengals Patriots. The over has hit in 6 straight games for Cincinnati. The total has gone over in 4 of New England's last 5. It's like that LSU defense 2 years ago when they wasted Jaden Daniels, and I won picks on taking the over in every LSU game, or like when you take the under in every Iowa game. That's my new system play. So if you hear me say system play, it just means I'm taking the over in the Bengals.
There's score a lot of. What I'm curious about though is this Joe Burrow situation. Full participant yesterday.
He's not playing.
He's not been ruled out
It's
though.
silly.
It's possible. It's just interesting.
Over 50.5. They could have anybody they could have Shedeur Sanders at quarterback. I'd still go with the over with how bad their defense is.
And
respectfully.
Real quick, my last one. Georgia Tech Pitt, big matchup of this weekend. Real good. You had Narduzzi saying what he said. He didn't care about anything else other than the last 2 games, and now he's got his opportunity to shine, but it won't be good against King Haynes himself. Give me Georgia Tech in Atlanta, -2.5 Georgia Tech. And when he conceded the way he did last week and get the face kicked in like that, we're talking about 2.5 points. Haynes King does that on the red zone each and every weekend.
Your love of Haynes King is
It's got a really good rushing
consistent.
defense.
Whoever drafts Haynes King next year, I will be getting a jersey for him.
I don't know
So
if
I'll tell
Pitt
you.
does have a good rushing defense, though.
They allow.
I know. I know what they allow. I know the number. But look at the rushing offenses they've gone up against. And then look at what a real rushing offense at Notre Dame did to them last week.
Exactly.
Because these schedules get so unbalanced now. You can go until November and not see a top 80 rushing attack all season. And then you finally see one and it's like, oh, crap, we don't have a good rushing attack. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're fine against the run. I don't think they're as good as what their stats
They ain't
say.
good against Haynes King.
Narduzzi didn't even look like he wanted to put his team out last week because he said it's fine if we lose.
He's
He
a
said he
different
did.
kind of guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Perfect coach for that city. He is Pittsburgh through and
Yes, a Yinzer, baby.
Coming up, we'll get to Mo on the phones. Your final thoughts. 615-737-1045. One final key from Ramon on Tennessee and Florida. And look at this. At the end of the show, we found some Titans and Seahawks tickets. We'll give them away next.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Ramona Will, 104.5 The Zone, wrapping up the show. Ramon on his way to Gainesville tomorrow as you get one final segment of him today. We've got some Titans tickets to give away for you.
Come on, Will.
As we do every Thursday. Titans Ticket Thursday, we give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to the next Titans game. Be caller number 5 right now to win a pair of club tickets to see the Titans host the Seattle Seahawks. 615-737-1045. That is 615-737-1045. Caller 5 is headed to Nissan Stadium. A pair of tickets this weekend. Best of luck. Ron Slay's here. What's up? You want to be on air?
What up, though? Nah, y'all make you sure. You think I'm ever passing up opportunity to be on air? He go further. I'm tripping off these tickets being club tickets. I know, and I hit up Hunter for some tickets. They better be club tickets too, or in the suite with somebody with my feet kicked up. Is all I'm telling you.
You know some people who can make.
You gotta know some people. So. I know people, but I want these people to give me. It ain't I want these.
He said these people. Wow.
I want these people.
All right, let's
give me sweet tickets.
Let's get Mo in Nashville in here for the final call of the morning. What's up, Mo?
What's up, Mo?
I got 2 questions. What exactly are we going to lose if we put Restrepo on the field? Like, what are we going to lose if he just gets on the field, shows us what he can do? Like, we're not going to lose anything. And my last question is there any update on if there's going to be a 16-team playoff next year? Those are my questions. Thank you, guys.
Mo, real quick. No, Mo. What do you want from Restrepo?
I mean, I just want to see him on the field. Like, I feel like everybody's making it a big deal. Like, maybe he goes out there, maybe he catches a few balls, maybe he gets like 40, 50 yards. I just want to see him on the field.
Okay.
Like, he made it this far to make it to the NFL. Like, just give him like a shot. Just give him a chance, you know?
Thank you, Mo. Appreciate the call. I think what you have to lose is not having the best option out there for Cam.
I agree.
This coaching staff and front office clearly believe that in the pecking order of what is most important, Mason Kinsey and James Prochet have given them better chances to win football games. So that's what you have to lose. You could be putting someone out there who's not your best chance to win.
Let me ask a question to y'all, man, because I ain't really did no homework, and I know y'all been on it. Was Restrepo like first, second, or third team All-American in college?
Yeah.
Well, which team?
He had a high volume.
High volume. No question.
He did.
In college.
College, he did.
So you telling me?
But so did so many other guys that were college good. Tebow,
first team All-American, semifinalist for the Biletnikoff.
Okay.
He capped his Miami career by becoming the first Miami wideout to ever post back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
That ain't no flex though.
Yeah, because a lot it is if you like. You stay for the longevity. That's a pat on the back, no question about it. But if you were that guy, like the ones that came before him, they would have left. You know what I'm saying? Like it's no 2 or 3 years. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. You know, it wasn't no major injury that made him stay in college. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't it was a reason that he had to stay. You know, and you brought in a quarterback in Cam Ward where they was spreading it out and they was tossing it. Backyard football, let them cook. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And you were privy to that. You worked hard, no question about it. When you get to this next level, though, professionally, that's different. It is a separate. I know it's hard to see because when you're in the stands watching or you're watching at home, it's different when you're out there on the field. Even if you just go train with one, the training is different. And you can absolutely see, Savage, if you go on the field and they running routes, you can see and be like, damn, they run it. Their routes is a little bit different than mine is. You know what I'm saying? So hey man. It's a huge salute to him for his grind and everything and the points you made it to. Stay down till you can come up. That don't mean you stay down and you get to come up, but stay down till you come up. You're not finna be giving anything. If Mason Kinsey is in there before you got to be saying something to yourself like, what is he doing different or what does he have that I don't have?
Like, this ain't a quarterback position where you got to teach him. Yeah, like Shador has to.
Right.
This is a wide receiver. Like, if you got skills.
You've been doing this all your life.
You won't come get it. Bryce Oliver did it.
To that point, too, the expectation of 40 to 50 yards for Restrepo in 3 preseason games. Xavier Restrepo had 3 catches for 26 yards on 6 targets in 3 games combined against backups. We've got to set our expectation. Even if he is up, there is no guarantee he is going to play he is a backup.
You know what's crazy, though, too? Like,
hope
if
he's
the year
successful.
he was going to leave, just looking at the stats, should have been that 2023 season where you had 85 catches for 1,092 yards. Instead, he had to come back and still go undrafted.
We are out of time on this
Respectfully.
Thursday morning. We'll have Ron Slay back on the show tomorrow at 9:20. We can talk more about
What
this.
about my journeyman story?
Stephen Godfrey at 8 a.m. Of course, Brent Hubbs at 7:20. Ramon, safe travels to Gainesville.
Thank y'all, man. Hey, go Vols!
Better believe it.
And your Twitter fingers and your mic. It's always hot.